Ladies and gentlemen, the real Black Mamba, the real Black Mamba of comedy.
The chosen one.
The man with no hair on the top of his head.
The funniest man in the world.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, he's not that tall, but he's super powerful with a strong jaw.
No doubt, no doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt. He says no doubt, no doubt. He's not the man who can't give himself compliments and is terrible at his own introduction.
No doubt, baby, no doubt.
No doubt, baby. No doubt.
The man who has absolutely no doubt about who exactly he is and what kind of an impact he has. And impact is the key word.
Changing lives.
Changing
one joke
lives.
at a time.
Changing lives.
The Mother Teresa of comedy.
Because he just keeps giving. He keeps giving laughs.
Yeah.
Just giving him.
Give him.
Take it.
The man who repeats.
Take that
The
shit.
man-
Take
Take
that
that
shit.
joke.
The man who repeats what we
We're
say.
your Flavor Flavs. Take that. Take that.
shit.
Take that shit. That's right. The man who dresses down but dresses cool.
No doubt.
The only
Up,
comic
down.
to show up on time to this podcast ever.
In fact, the only comic to show up way earlier, ready to go at 11 because he's got to drive to Mammoth.
I really thought I was late.
Like a Navy SEAL, you were here before us.
First in, first out.
That's right. And the man who never really has any form to his beard. He kind of lets it grow in general, ladies and gentlemen.
Gangster like that.
Very
Yeah.
gangster.
Brother, thanks for coming in.
Ian
man.
Edwards,
pleasure,
the
man. My pleasure.
great Ian
We know
Edwards.
you're a busy dude. We've never really. I think we've crossed paths a little bit, but I saw you perform at the Ice House with Rogan, and I was dying.
Oh, shit. Thanks, man.
Dying.
Ian
Hilarious.
Edwards is one of those comics who's the
dude.
reason he's on Rogan's shows is not just because he's great, but he's also always writing. You're always coming up with new shit. You're always kind of pushing things, which is why I guess you wrote on Two Broke Girls.
Oh, you
the
did? I
Gerard
didn't know
Carmichael
that.
show. He wrote on Blackish. Ian does a great deal of TV writing.
Yeah, hustle, man. It's a good way to make some money and stay in town.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta
So-
be, multifaceted because, especially in this business, right? Like,
Yeah.
comedy's huge, but you see a lot of people cross over, like Amy Schumer or whoever. That was a bad example. Dave Chappelle, because they have so many, sticks in the fire.
But there's also like this phenomenon I was thinking about with you. You are somebody whose comedy cuts across all different cultures and all different sort of
preach.
Yeah. It's true because you seem to talk about things that we all universally adhere to, and I feel like comedy is actually kind of segregated a lot of times. Like you'll have black comics doing
Right.
black rooms and black nights, and then white comics it's just a different thing.
Right.
But you do kind of everything, right?
Yeah. And I started out like in white rooms, then transitioned to black rooms because black rooms was coming up, and then now I just try to write material that's universal to everybody.
That's smart. Is there black rooms specifically still? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like there's certain
Like
in LA.
In LA, there's black nights. There's like the Improv on Monday night, Mo Better Mondays. That's a black night. There's a black night at the Laugh Factory. That's on Sunday night. That's called Chocolate Sundays. But white comics
Chocolate Sundays.
Chocolate
I need
Sundays.
to go there.
Yeah,
it's good.
Go there. It's just
Black girls love me.
Yeah, go there.
Black girls love
I don't know if
Brennan.
You got a chick, you get divorced out there.
Yeah,
That's just,
I'm gonna show up to Chocolate Sunday.
Show up to Chocolate Sundays. You be straight.
I heard Kevin Hart talking about when he was coming up. He was doing like a lot of just black rooms, and he was like, "Man, like I need to get outside this comfort zone and start expanding, doing other rooms."
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, he
Yes.
talked about how it's just almost a different feeling.
Right.
Just
I like the way Kev did it because he didn't really change his material per se. He's still the same type of performer, same type of material, but somehow it transcends and like he has like just a universal audience. It's crazy.
Because funny's funny. I don't give a fuck what color
Exactly.
you are, where you're from. Funny's funny.
Right.
Funny's funny.
Yeah,
Funny's
hilarious.
funny. And some people like Chris Rock, and there's some people you can look like Bill Murray, Chris Rock. There's certain people with faces, they can be standing still and you start laughing.
Well,
like the way they say something, you know?
Bro, before he went batshit crazy, but remember Cat Williams? For
Bro.
a second?
Yeah.
In fact, on Tripping on Tuesdays or whatever that is at the
You say tripping on Tuesdays?
yeah, which is right.
That's at the Comedy Store.
That's a comedy store.
And that's the black.
That's
Yeah.
that's at the main.
There's
room.
a black night every night. Tripping on Tuesdays.
there's-
Wilding out Wednesdays.
There's an all deaf digital Wednesdays at the movie theater at the Chinese movie theater.
There's a what's it
There's
called?
a comedy night. It's on Wednesday night at the Grumman's Chinese theater.
And it's called what?
All Def Digital. It's like Russell Simmons and
All Def
Tony
Digital,
Rock.
digital.
Tony Rock is like the host of the show.
Damn.
Yeah.
I watched Cat Williams, and I didn't know how famous he was. And this was not that long ago. And he was at he was at the Comedy Store, and there was a band behind him, and he was incorporating that band. Bro, I was watching him going, it just doesn't get better than this motherfucker.
Right.
Like, talk about mastering a form. And then I went up to him after. I was like an idiot. I was like, bro, you're so good. You're so good. It's the first time I'd seen him, and he looked at me. He was like he's heard that 1 million times. He looked at me like, yeah,
He's
thank
a big
you.
deal.
Yeah, he was
big
like,
deal.
thank you. He was like, I know that.
He really blew up. Well, I mean, for like the mainstream after doing Next Friday. Remember
Yeah,
that?
he did
Friday
next
after
Friday.
Next?
Yeah, he did Friday after one of those Fridays.
Pam.
Yeah.
Yeah, killed it.
He was making
in that
money
party.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that party scene.
What happened though? You know what I'm saying? Like, why did you just go batshit crazy?
I think Cat was always kind of like that,
Yeah.
and you know, the money and the fame
Brought it to the head.
brought it to a head. You know, I hope he gets better
Me too,
because
man.
he's just a straight up funny dude.
Brilliant.
But you know, it's
So
like,
he was always a little weird. Do you know him?
yeah, I know him a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. He was
'Cause
always.
we did some of the same like regular clubs together,
Right.
and you know, Cat always had some issues, and you know, I just hope he gets better. That's all.
Me
What
too,
were
man.
the issues? Do you know? Like, he's just a weird dude. He just-
I wrote on this show, this pilot for Tracy Morgan.
yeah.
Cat was a cast member. Heavy D was on the cast. What's the dude from that Eddie Murphy movie that played the dad and was like
I love him.
the older guy.
Yeah. Oh, come on, man. Famous, funny, famous
Black guy?
motherfucker. Yeah, black guy.
dude. He played the parent
Oh,
of David
come
Allen
on.
Greer, and he
So
You
funny.
got to coordinate. What the fuck can I remember?
Got to
his
coordinate.
name?
He got to coordinate. He was wearing a tie. Everything.
wearing a tie,
He opens
that's
his
it.
thing. He goes, and it's the same.
Yeah.
Come on.
Did he pass away?
No, man.
No, he's alive.
Oh,
But he's
anyway.
famous. He's
Okay.
famous. Tracy Morgan's famous. All these people are famous. Heavy D's on the cast.
Yeah.
And somebody else. And Cat comes through. He's a brand new cast member. Just did Friday, and comes through with a bodyguard carrying his luggage.
Oh, no.
to the
he
set.
Time move.
No, he didn't.
Fake it till you make it, baby.
Tracy didn't have a bodyguard.
Yeah, man.
Cat has had personal assistants and bodyguards before he blew up.
Now, is that because...
Before, when he just had a one night at the racetrack, at the Hollywood Park racetrack, he had like a Thursday night show or some shit. And he had
But is
personal
that, do you think
assistants and
that's
shit
because
like that.
he's paranoid, or is it because he's trying to separate himself and be bigger than he is? Because that's a hostile act. When you come in with all those famous people, right? And then, what's that guy's name?
John Witherspoon.
There it is,
There you
John
go.
Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Thank you. John Witherspoon. You've got John Witherspoon who's been around forever. By the way, he charges $20 if you want to take a picture with him.
Yeah,
What I
he
understand.
charges money. For
God
taking, yeah.
damn.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
No, he's
Who
like,
does that?
$20, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Really?
Yes.
Yes.
He's John Witherspoon will
does
charge
that?
you $20 and people
John
line
Witherspoon.
Yeah, there you go.
up. One guy, John Witherspoon. And Stallone, apparently. Stallone will
Stallone
charge
does that
$100.
too?
Yeah, something
I
like
think
that.
Bieber's starting to do that shit. Too.
Yeah, it makes sense. But
Not really.
Yeah, not really.
Not really.
yeah, I mean, I would imagine if you have 50,000 people that want to take a picture, you'd probably have to kind of figure it out.
Yeah, those people pay your bills. Just take the fucking picture.
Well,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
yeah,
But,
we can't relate to it. Anyways, keep going.
yeah, but if you got all those people and you show up with a bodyguard, that's a hostile.
It sets a
act.
weird tone.
It sets a weird tone.
Because remember, Tracy Morgan's there.
Right.
He's one of the funniest people of all time.
Doesn't have a bodyguard.
And crazy himself, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Tracy's out there.
Is he
but
crazy
in
like a
good
fox
way.
though? Does he know what he's doing?
I think he's a genius.
Yeah.
Fuck
Like
yeah, he's
as
a
far as
genius.
like manipulating just show business. Like he knows.
Like he gets away with everything.
He knows when to turn his crazy on and off.
God,
Yeah.
is that right?
And so I wonder how crazy he really is.
Right.
Like, but
genius, like you said.
genius. Yeah.
Like a discipline. Probably he's got his discipline around his comedy. Like he's going to make you laugh and he's going to show up and give you a great show.
Right.
He might be crazy in the middle.
It might be crazy to me. Like I've been to nightclubs with Tracy, like in Hollywood. He'll stand on the table, take his shirt off,
Right.
and like pat his stomach. Somebody gonna get pregnant tonight, and just do all that crazy shit. But he's done crazy. Like he's
Oh, yeah.
he got in trouble with the law a few times.
Yeah.
He needed a new kidney, I guess, and his
Oh.
girlfriend gave him. His girlfriend gave. This is what I heard.
Well, yeah. Well,
Tell
let
the story.
me just start this story by saying Tracy Morgan is the luckiest fucking comic I ever seen in my life. Like within like a week of starting comedy, he started at the Uptown Comedy Club. He got on, maybe it's more than a week, but he got on their TV show as a regular cast member. Then that show got canceled. Then he was on Martin like weeks after. Then after that, he's a brand new comic.
Yeah, just
with a
kill him.
propeller hat. Then he gets on
With a
SNL.
propeller hat.
Then he gets on SNL. Then he gets off SNL, ends up in his first few years on SNL, you didn't even really see Tracy.
No.
Didn't see him. Then he ends up, he heats up like 4 years in.
Yeah.
Has a hot 3 years. Then gets off that show, and somebody from SNL, Tina Fey, has her own show, puts him on that. So that's another 8-year run.
Yeah.
Then gets hit in an accident, not by just some regular truck, but by a company that has been maligned in the media that nobody likes. Yeah. So then they, to save face, has to pay him after he lives through the accident, which is another part of luck, so much money that he's probably made more money than all the shows that I just mentioned from that one accident.
And all you have to do is break his leg.
For real. And he's good.
And he's
now
good.
He's back acting.
And he's back acting.
Stand up.
And it was a terrible accident because Artie Fuqua got fucked up.
Already got a friend of ours got
somebody
fucked
got
up,
killed
and somebody
too.
died. Yeah, another guy, Uncle
really
Jimmy
terrible.
Mac died.
Terrible.
But the thing was, even before the accident, I saw Tracy, and he couldn't see. Like, he had kidney problems. So then he got this fiance, and this bitch happened to have the same blood type.
What the fuck?
What are the odds?
Dude of all time.
The luckiest motherfucker of all time.
So then she gives him a kidney, and then they break up.
Then he goes, thanks for the kidney. I gotta go.
And they marry some other chick. This
is brilliant.
It's just, these are just facts.
Yeah, you
Not
can't.
making
You couldn't write this. You couldn't write this.
This
shit.
has got to be, even when at his time of worst luck, it's the best scenario,
Yeah.
case scenario that comes out of it.
And it's not like he's a great actor. He studied acting. There's just something about that motherfucker.
There's something about him.
Something
And
about
there's
that
something about
crazy
him.
dude that makes you laugh.
He has the it factor for sure.
He has the
Yeah,
it
he has the it factor. Yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
he kills it.
But he's not attractive.
Anything
He's not-
anything he's in, I will watch.
He's got
he
those,
has that power.
He's got those eyes that always seem outraged. He's like, what?
So
Apparently he broke his leg. He's like, like everything he does is over
so
the top.
fucking
Like some
funny.
people have no vanity. They don't give a shit.
They
They'll
want
take it.
Saturday Night Live, man.
Yeah, they'll shit their pants and be like, I shit my pants. Somehow the whole room feels guilty.
He's great, man.
He's got those comedy, like when hanging out with Tracy and having a conversation with him, it's that's what I wish was on stage. Like, those conversations are fucking funny, man. He's just so animated.
Yeah.
And just paints pictures whenever you're just hanging out with him, man. It's just hilarious. He's just so funny. He does every detail of the scenario.
That dude needs
There's
a
that-
podcast.
there's-
He needs a podcast.
Yeah. There's
Even
that.
if he had a podcast, he could tell those story time with Tracy Morgan. What?
Well,
he
there's
wouldn't
that-
even do it. He's got so much money now.
Like so much. Yeah. Why
Yeah.
do it?
There's that story about like how he got out of like he creates this whole scene in a bar. He had this crazy bill. He's buying everybody drinks. Everybody drinks.
That's hilarious.
Right, and Bert Kreischer, I think, tells us right. And he bought the whole place. More drinks on me, man.
It's in
Come on.
Vegas or what?
Like crazy, yeah, like Vegas or somewhere. Like he's literally the tab is going to be $10,000, right? And next thing you know, I guess what do you know the story? He gets up and he gets in a fight. But he's like, this guy's calling me a black man. He's like, he starts pulling the race card on something, but the other guy was black. It was a weird thing.
Hilarious.
And anyway, literally they
create a
had
scene to get out?
A scene. They had to break up the fight. Two sides of the bar, the bouncer, somebody falls and hurts themselves. And he gets out and they kick him out because it's just like he's made such a scene. And he goes, and that's how a brother gets out of paying his bill.
Damn.
hilarious.
He said.
But
he's
I
brilliant.
didn't do the story justice. Bert Kreischer does it in his stand-up apparently, and it's
word.
fucking hilarious.
Do you feel like I feel like in comedy, like with women, there's only so many women we can find funny, right? Like I feel like especially with women, there's a lot of competition. With white comedians, there's a lot of white comedians, and then with black comedians, do you feel like there's this? From the outside looking in, from the little bit of comics I know, I feel like if you're in a group, you all help each other, but outside that group, it's pretty competitive. Do you feel that way with other black comics, or is it there's enough lanes for everyone? I think, but at the same time, there is a competitive nature to the business.
Well, I think in early black comedy, like when Eddie Murphy was coming up and he ran into Arsenio and Robert Townsend and Keenan, like those guys helped. Like Eddie helped those guys.
Yeah.
And then there's pockets where I know Chris Rock has helped like JB Smooth, Wanda, and he helped Leslie Jones.
Yeah, she's
You know,
God,
killing it
I'm
now.
so
You
happy
know?
for Leslie Jones, by the way.
Right.
Like, what a great person, and to see her kick ass. I mean, I've never had
What
good
were you
things.
saying?
But I'm trying to think of other scenarios. I'm sure there's other places like there's comics that have helped me and vice versa. It's just the different levels of help and how much can you
Sure.
really help somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
There's not much you can do usually. You can give them opportunities, but when it comes to funny, you're up there alone.
Right.
But you've always been sort of someone who I always felt was out of the fray. Like, you've always been so cerebral and so kind of like, you know, the guy who just comes up, does your work, kills it, and then, you know, you get along with everybody. But you never really have been somebody who was,
You gotta
I
start
don't know
a bar
what it is.
fight.
Maybe humble is the word
Making
I'm
a
looking
scene?
for. Humble is the word I'm looking for, probably.
Humble.
Like, you seem to be just about the comedy and just about the writing, just about trying to create something original. And then it's almost like Ian, oh, look, Ian's there. He does his work. He's going to hang out, maybe have a beer, and then go home.
Yeah. I mean,
It's not like, hey, Ian's doing fucking blow again in the back.
Well, how old are you, Ian?
I never tell people that.
It's fucking hard to guess. If you gave me a guess,
Good.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Could not
yeah,
fucking
Yeah,
tell
I
you.
like people to guess and then just not tell them the answer.
Exactly. He's
Yeah.
67 years old, man. It's really
72.
I say
He's
eight-
older
I say-
than John
I say
Witherspoon.
89, but
He's
yeah.
89.
It's fucking.
I bought John Witherspoon's first headshot.
That's exactly. That's how old.
That's old. That's
Yeah. Yeah, but so yeah, that's you grew up in New York though, right?
I grew up in New York. I grew up in Jamaica. I grew up in England. All over the
Oh.
place. Yeah.
Because you're Jamaican originally.
Yeah, Jamaica. Like my parents are Jamaican. I'm Jamaican too, but I was born in England because they used to live there. Then we went back to Jamaica. Then we moved to New York.
You got a New
And
York
then-
accent, bro. You got
Yeah,
no
yeah.
Jamaican and no English.
Yeah, I know.
There's no Jamaican there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
What if your parents did what? They
They just wherever.
human trafficking, or what were we talking about?
It's a human
what,
tra-
yeah, why
They trafficked.
Jamaica
They
to
trafficked
England
us
to-
kids. They
yeah,
trafficked us
right.
kids all over the place. Now my father was like an electrician. When he moved to New York, he worked for like the subway, was an electrician on the subway and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, and he did that. He worked for the telephone company in England. And he was a supervisor at the soya bean factory
Damn, all over,
in Jamaica.
man.
Now my roommates in college were Jamaican, and
Oh,
when they would
that's
speak,
hilarious.
when they would speak together,
Uh-huh.
good luck understanding.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Bro, there's Jamaicans when they're around you will speak, like completely like the Queen's English. They talk this way,
Uh-huh.
and then when they're talking to each other, bro, right?
Yeah, you can't. It's-
Can you understand it?
Yeah.
Because you grew up
Because
around.
I grew up. I used to speak it.
You used to speak it.
Yeah, I still do if I get
He's
around some
from there,
Jamaicans.
man.
Yeah.
No, but bro, it's a different language.
Yeah, but if you're
It's
from
English,
there.
but it's just really heavily accented. Patois. Yeah.
Like, give us an example of patois. like,
Give you an example. It's not even going to sound. I got to talk to somebody Jamaican.
yeah, you got to talk to somebody.
I got to talk to somebody Jamaican. Like a friend of mine used to listen to me talk to my mother. Like I'd be talking to a friend on the phone, an American friend. I'd be talking to my mother, and she's like, "Why are y'all always arguing?" I said, "No, that's just how we talk."
Oh, really?
Like it sounds like a heated argument.
Yeah.
yeah,
when
it's almost
people
like
talk.
German.
Yeah.
Can right?
Yeah.
Because German
See,
is
I
so
would kill-
hostile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a hostile
Yeah, you're
sounding.
like, God,
yeah.
dog, what's going
Yeah.
on over there?
Meisen, Waldo,
Damn, what's going on? I'm just asking if you can get my
Are
coat.
you giving orders?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
I
weird,
just told
right?
him happy birthday. But the shit sounds hostile as fuck. Yeah.
Hostile as
I
fuck.
want you to call your mother right now and
That's
talk to her.
hilarious.
Yeah, right.
I literally want-
Or call too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Did you? What I find fascinating is guys who, and I was talking to Brian the other day about this, but guys who can write for TV shows, 'cause it's such a beast. And again, I know very little about it. We wrote our TV show, did some of that stuff, but just. I think writing from other people, writing for other people, it's such a different world that I don't understand. I find it fascinating because let's say you write for Two Broke Girls or
Right.
Tracy Morgan or Cat Williams, whoever, do these guys have any say on what you write? You know what I'm saying? Like they get the script, and does Tracy Morgan, whoever you write for, are like, dude, well, I would never. What the fuck is the character? I don't want this bullshit. Like,
Right.
does it go down like that?
I think that could happen with depending on who you're writing for. Like when I write on a show, it's like you get hired for the show because you've either shown them some example of something that you have that fits their criteria.
That makes sense.
And then even with that, there's EPs who run the show, and sometimes the EP created the show. Like Michael Patrick King created Two Broke Girls with
Sex in
Whitney.
the City, too.
With Whitney.
Yeah, and Sex
yeah.
in the City.
Yeah.
So then, he sold the show to the network, and he's in the writer's room and helping coming up with the story arcs and all that stuff. So he's there at every point.
He's
so you're
there
just
kind of
basically
navigating, then
Yeah.
you're filling it in, and
you're just filling it in because he can't come up with it like every line or every story
Yeah.
or every plot point. But
Well,
he's
that
only
makes
taking
sense.
the ones that he likes.
Yeah.
And
So how many,
oh,
like on Two Brokers, which is a huge fucking show, how many writers are there in that room?
there's probably at least 13.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
13 writers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? That's a writer's
Yeah,
room,
that's a
and they
writer's room,
sit
yeah.
there in a room, and they everybody has these ideas they put up on a board, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you
How's
finally
it go
break
down,
the story.
Ian? So you go to the writer's room, and you gotta, like, how far out do you guys meet before you write an episode? Are you writing the whole episode?
Like we're there for months. And Two Broke Girls does a thing where they arc out the season. Like, what are we gonna do this season overall?
Yeah.
So they have like a season story out. Like the season I was there, the girls went to cooking school and shit was happening in the cooking school. Like one girl was gonna fall in love with the teacher. The other girl was gonna fall in love with one of the students.
Yep.
And then they was gonna find out that the teacher was married, but he has like a European relationship, so it's cool with his wife to fuck around. But the other girl had to be like, is she okay with that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so how are we gonna get them into the cooking school first? How many episodes is it gonna take them to get in? And then what happens while they're in the school, and how does the whole season
That's
end?
fascinating.
You
So
know?
if there's 13 of you,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say you write a certain, and then you make your pitch, and they're like, yeah, that's cool, let's use that.
Right, yeah. And then everybody's pitching ideas, and then they formulate the stories, and then like once they have like the story outlines, everybody contributes towards a story outline. And there's jokes in the outline, and then they give it to one person to go off and write, and then that's your episode. And then you bring it back, and then everybody reads it, and then everybody adds notes to it, and then they have a table read, and then the network sees a table read, and then they
give
add
notes.
their notes.
Damn.
And then you go
There's a
back
lot
to
of
the
chefs
writer's
in the
room
kitchen.
and
Yes.
rewrite that too much. And then you
It's too much.
that's the
rewrite it
problem.
again, and then you go to the floor. You put it the week it's going to be shot. You go on. You have like studio run-throughs. So you go from scene to scene and watch the whole thing unfold.
Good
Then the studio's there
God.
again. And so now that we've seen it on its feet, this doesn't work. This does work. This doesn't work. Change it again. Then you have probably another one, and
Damn,
then
dog.
the night of the shooting, you still might change some shit.
You have a lot of
And you-
changes.
And
not
you
in
love
shooting.
doing it?
Uh,
You love being a writer? Like
You're a piece
creating
of
stuff?
cock, right?
Kinda. It was like that's what I wanted to do at the time. Now I quit all the writing jobs and I'm like getting on the road more,
Focusing
doing more
solely on stand-up.
Focus on myself, and I want to drop a special. I think people need to hear my shit more, and the writers' room was kind of hindering that.
I bet, man,
Yeah.
because that takes a lot of time.
Takes a lot
Also
of
a
time.
lot of creativity,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
you could have been doing with your act.
With my own, yeah.
But I'm assuming, since you're such a good writer, your jokes that when you're writing a bunch, I'm assuming you're always coming up with new material.
Yeah, sometimes you have writer's block, or sometimes it's just hard to just sit down and write some shit. Like
Dude, don't you find it's hard not to repeat yourself too? Like as far as thematically, like because one of the things that the biggest thing is when you say you're working on, like now I'm going to work on my third special.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you start to realize as a human being, you're preoccupied with the same questions,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't repeat yourself over and over again. You got to come up with a new way of thinking about things. That becomes
Yeah.
a challenge.
yeah.
But
you know what I'm
you have
saying?
your style of comedy, right?
Got your
You
style
have
of
to-
comedy.
But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And we can edit this out if it's too soon. But Callan's special got picked up.
Yeah.
Someone bought Callan's special. So
Yep.
remember all
Yeah,
that
where's
shit-
it going
remember
to?
all that
It's
shit I
going
was
either
talking?
to Hulu or Netflix. It
Oh, that's
will
dope.
be,
And
yes.
Remember all that shit I was talking? I said, nope, let the fans buy it. Let's do this. And they saw how good it was.
Yep.
And they said, you know what? We need that.
That's
In
exactly
your
what
face.
happened. That's
Dope.
exactly what happened.
And you
face.
shot it yourself?
We shot it ourselves.
Oh, good.
Brennan was like, let's just keep release it.
Oh, that's dope, man.
12,000, 15,000 buys later.
Oh, we're almost at 16,000.
Yeah, everybody went. The big, I think it was the company and the other people were like, wait a minute. He sold that many just off his fan
put it
base?
online.
Yeah,
Yes.
so check it. So Callan shot it, and at the time, Netflix and whoever, I forget who else, Hulu was like, he needs to reshoot it. He needs to do this.
Right.
I was there. Rogan was there too.
Right.
I saw this special. I'm like, dude, I'm balls deep in comedy. I love it.
Right.
I can't get enough of it. I've seen so many specials. I told Brian, I'm like, dude, it's fucking good, man.
Right.
I think they're wrong.
This motherfucker's
Again,
funny, man.
I'm not in the business of selling specials, but I'm in the business of comedy and entertainment.
Right.
And I told Brian, like, dude, I'm telling you, it's fucking good, man. And he goes, now we need to reshoot it. I go, fuck that, because he paid for it all himself. I go,
Right.
let me handle it
Uh-huh.
and give it to our fans. I guarantee the response you get you at least you can get your money back, but they're gonna see your material.
Right.
And he was like, fuck it, let's do it. No one agreed with me.
No.
Ryan's the only. I said, dude, trust me. I know our fan base. They're gonna love it. He releases it and fucking boom.
Would you all
Now-
release it on?
Straight to the fans.
Straight to the fans, like
Straight-
just on a website or
Yeah,
something?
because we
our own
Oh, okay.
website,
Oh, dope.
tfactk3d.com.
because we shot
Oh.
a TV show as well, and we packaged it with that.
Right.
And I was about to release it on iTunes and sell it just separately, and then I got the call that day.
Oh,
that
shit. So you didn't even go back to them. They just hit you up?
They just hit me up. I didn't go back.
And-
to them.
What, they got spies? They've been tracking shit?
Dude,
They know what's up
they
because
watch
we
it.
had a Netflix dude who's high up at Netflix at our show in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And during the fan questions, I was like, yo, what's up, dog? And he raises his hand. He stands up. He goes, listen, don't kill me. I work for Netflix. I was trying hard as fuck to get Count Special. I know you guys did your own thing. I loved it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, cool, give us your card afterwards, man. Like, let's figure this shit out.
Oh, dope. I love that, man.
Yeah.
I love that independent shit.
Well, this
Hell yeah,
podcast
man.
also has been like I'm realizing that it's been it's had such an impact in general, and certainly on my career, and certainly like it's the best thing I could have ever done for my stand up for anything.
Right.
Like it's just been sick, and
It's funny. It's coming from a guy who books a lot of shit, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So this business is hilarious.
It's hilarious because even though I book things, I'm coming back for the Goldbergs, and I love doing that show, and I have another opportunity to do another show, which I'm not going to do. But at the end of the day, we know the TV is just not going to get you what this shit gets
Well,
you.
Right.
you just need a vehicle.
I need a vehicle.
Like you will both like obviously Ian, like you're funny as fuck, creative. It's just like getting it out there. Like there's so
Right,
much
right.
competition. There's so much shit stimulus for people to hit and look at
Right.
on YouTube and Netflix and Hulu and fucking on demand. It's like fuck. How do I separate who's funny, who's not?
Right,
So
right.
you just need this vehicle and
That's right. It's
talent
becoming-
recognize talent, and then it boom. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yes.
Like I remember when I was going to the Ice House with Rogan, and I texted said, "Who's up tonight?" He's like, "My boy Ian Edwards." I was like, "I've heard of you, obviously, because Rogan. We run in
Right.
the same circle." And I go, "Funny?" He goes, "A fucking killer." And then you went up there, and I'm telling you, man, my ribs were hurting. Dog. It was fucking ridiculous.
It's hilarious.
It was ridiculous.
At least I got to hurt you without getting into a physical confrontation with you.
I don't want that, dog. I don't want that.
I don't want that either.
And you know at the time it was you and then Tony Hinchcliffe, and they sat me and they're like, "Oh, just sit there," like whatever the bouncer was like, "Oh, Shab, what? Just sit here, man, me and my girl." And we're sitting there, and then Tony Hinchcliffe comes in, I think to watch you, and those seats were reserved for him. And
That's
he came in and
hilarious.
was like, "Yo," and I was like, "Oh, well, I don't know Tony." At the time, I didn't know Tony at all, and I was embarrassed, man. I'm like, "No, you can have these," and he was like, "Oh, no," and like left, but whatever.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, man.
You are not though if you were to meet you, it's not like you're like, yeah, I'm a cut up. Look at me, I'm Ian Edwards.
Right.
But when did you decide to be a comic?
Like 20s.
And what did your Jamaican parents say about that?
Oh, I never told them.
Just kind of did it.
You
I
never
just
told
started doing it for years. For
years.
For like 2.5 years, right? I'm doing it. And then I forgot what birthday it was, but they found out. So they didn't tell me they found out. So I'm doing this show in this club it's in not East Meadow. It was it's like out east on Long Island. I was hosting this club for a weekend, and it was a white club. And then these in the middle of the show, these black people show up dressed in church clothes on a Saturday night. It's late.
Saturday night.
Late. Like hats, full civil rights outfits. You know what I'm saying? And march into this
Kentucky
reserved
Derby.
table. Yeah, Kentucky Derby. Marched into this table in the middle of the room. And I'm like looking at them. I'm like, wait a minute, I know those people. And they didn't just come by themselves. They brought like uncles and aunts and shit like that. And
God
people
damn,
that we
no
have
pressure.
family parties with. And I was like, oh shit, they found out.
found out.
And I just like did some quick material and just brought up the next act because I was lucky. It was lucky. I finished when you're hosting. Yeah, but you're the host. Then there's a feature and there's a headliner. So I did the bulk of my material up front because I was a new comic.
Yeah.
And so then I was in between the feature and the headliner. And I just like fuck it. I just brought up the headliner.
Just fucking.
Hey, thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming out. You're gonna see about 10 seconds of me.
Headliner wasn't ready.
It wasn't ready. You up, dog?
I just got up saying, yeah, bring your headliner up. Come here. Forgot who it was.
When was the first time that they actually saw you do a set? And were you?
That was it.
Oh, that was it.
That was the first
No, I'm
time.
saying like when they saw you really do your material.
Like they
and-
saw you kill.
Like were you confirmed to them that you were a real
Like when I
comic?
booked a TV show, maybe like Def Jam or some shit like that. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And they were proud of you, obviously, and,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
supportive.
Yeah, and I had dreads at the time, and dreads, Jamaica's a pretty much black island, but when you have dreads in Jamaica, it's like you're the niggas of black people. So then my father used to make excuses to my relatives for me having dreads. But
It's low class, right? It's considered
Right,
like
it's-
you're a
it's-
stoner and a low
Yeah,
class.
it's like so then now that I was a performer, he said, "Oh, he has dreads because he's a performer." Like that's
that
was-
like Bob Marley.
That was his
You like
his,
Bob Marley.
That was
You
his
know.
excuse for not feeling bad that his son had dreads.
Yeah, he's a performer.
Yeah, he's a performer.
Because Jamaicans are pretty conservative in some ways, right?
Yeah, they are. It's
Yeah.
weird. Jamaica's weird as far as like it can be violent, it could be really fun, but there's certain things they're conservative about.
Yes.
Like when I was going to Jamaica, you couldn't say the N-word.
Really?
Like if a Jamaican person, a black Jamaican said the N-word to another black Jamaican back then, it was just as bad as a white person saying it.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just nobody said that word back then. I remember like when Biggie was alive, he did a show in Jamaica and he said nigga on stage and they threw bottles at him.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Like it's on his albums, y'all. You came to see him because you know he says that shit, and then he said it there, and then there's
Every other word for
yeah,
Biggie.
every other word, yeah.
That's like getting mad that he sung his favorite, his number one hit. You
Yeah,
know
exactly.
what the fuck he's bringing to the
Yeah,
table.
they wanted him
Yeah.
to skip that part, but they say other curse words. Where Jamaicans have their own set of curse words, and you
Like
can say
what?
them and shit. Bumba clot, Ross
Yeah.
clot, pussy clot.
Yeah.
You know?
What's clot mean? 'Cause that's the
Like I don't know. You just grew up knowing
Bumba clot.
that those are bad words.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see on the BET Awards, which were awesome? I know Kay watched it, but they censored out the N-word,
Right.
which I found kind of weird because if you're gonna tune in the BET Awards
Mhm.
and it's BET, like I
Those
obviously-
are African Americans.
yeah,
Those proud,
the people who run the network.
African Americans, proud, like.
Do you have a problem with it? Do you have a problem either way, whether they censor or not? I just feel like if it's the BET,
I say leave
award-
it in there. To me, I say leave it in there. Don't act like we don't say it.
But to me, it's like when we first started doing the show with Fox, they wanted to censor our cuss words. And I was like, well, then you're assuming our audience finds it offensive or
Right.
that they're too stupid and can't handle those words.
Right.
Right.
I don't
Right.
think it's up to you to censor what the audience should hear.
Right.
Like if there's an issue with it, let's change the channel or they won't listen to the podcast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I was watching BET and they would say something and you go,
But they have, too. They have like sponsors like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, whoever,
Yeah,
and
they definitely do.
they don't want to piss off the corporate people. They trying to get that money.
True,
Yeah.
but if you're
That's
going to
what BET's
sponsor that
about.
award, you know what I'm saying? It's like Biggie coming to Jamaica. Like if you're going to get mad, like don't bring him.
Right.
So if you're going to sponsor the BET Awards and then you have fucking Panda up there dropping the N-word, but of course,
Right.
his name's Panda.
Right, and they probably told him not to say it before, and he's like, "Fuck it, I won't say it." And then he went up there and just did
What are you
that
going
shit.
to do? You got Chris
Yeah.
Brown hitting bitches and you're going to drop the N-word.
That's
Like, yeah, man,
hilarious.
you give him an award and then you give him a Coca-Cola. Like, what do you, and then you're going to censor it? It's just, it's very strange to me.
No, it's weird. It's weird. It's like what's even weird is like I just remember watching old TV shows, and like the Jeffersons or Archie Bunker, and they said the N-word on that show. Like in the Jeffersons,
Did they?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
yeah. Go watch
Damn.
some episodes. Like George Jefferson used to say, "Nigga, please."
Wow.
Yeah,
Negro
and,
or
nigga, and Good Times. James Evans said that shit.
Damn.
It's interesting. Like,
So this is TV's kind of gone backwards.
Yeah.
because now,
You
because
know?
you got to be so sensitive of everyone's
Everybody,
feelings,
yeah.
which I get, but all I'm saying, especially like we don't need that. Obviously you get on Blackish on ABC, it's tough, but the BET Awards, you have rappers, influencers, and if they choose to use that word and you're choosing to tune into that channel, don't censor what they're going to
Shit,
say.
you can't listen. There's if you're a gangster rapper, you can't show a gun in your videos. Like they I remember when they used to have guns in videos,
Fuck
real
yes.
and then they used to like blur them out.
Yeah.
Like I had this idea for a sketch for a hip hop video where you couldn't even see the video; the whole shit was blurred out.
Just a big.
It's a big blur. You can hear the music, and you can hear all the activity, but everything's a blur because everything is censored. Because that's how hip hop turned into like everything got censored. Like you couldn't see the labels on the hats.
Nothing.
Remember that? You used to be able to show everything, and then they started blurring out everything, hand gestures, everything. Just like
that all becomes that's. It feels like there's two things going on with that. One is sociologists say, obviously, this is glorifying violence and people are actually getting shot.
What about The Godfather?
Well, exactly. And then all of a sudden, and then
I think the other 17.
The other thing might be liability.
It's violent as fuck.
It might be liabilities too. Like sometimes, like if you're wearing a Nike hat and you're waving a gun, Nike goes, nope, we don't want to associate with that shit. Don't wave a gun. So a lot of it's legal. I think a lot of what happened was they came down legally. They were like,
but you know what? But they're going to take those sales from the Jordans that Kendrick Lamar is rocking, or that YG's wearing.
Sure,
they're going to take the sales from that Young and Reckless shirt that he's rocking, the red shirt.
Yeah, I don't know the conversation.
Very weird because you got to remember a lot of times that gangster rap culture, that hip hop culture, sets the trends for everybody.
Like Run DMC, My Adidas,
man.
And when they sing about just different types of alcohols and
but a lot of
Cristal, Moet, they set the trends for literally for the younger generation. Timberlands. I mean, you look at starter jackets. Look at Yeezy right now is by far the biggest style influencer that we have. By far, not even close, man. Really? He's not gangster rap, but he's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It's very interesting.
But remember, like, you know, a lot of musical groups were being sued. That like for Judas Priest was on the stand because a kid killed himself listening to his music.
Damn, he said Judas Priest.
Yeah, but I mean. That was in the 90s, right? That was the 90s, and those things have an influence on how people all of a sudden everybody gets really careful.
No, look at NWA. I mean, like the shit NWA did.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like the LA hat.
Yeah, they sold more Raider gear than the Raiders.
Yeah. The Raiders weren't even cool till fucking Ice Cube started rocking that shit.
Wow,
it's insane.
Yeah,
man.
It's crazy.
Yeah. The influence celebrities have, especially
like I wouldn't blur out. Like if I was a company and a rapper was wearing my shit, I wouldn't request that it be blurred out. But some of them do. Like you said, some of them do. I don't know why. I'm like, to me, it's like that's a free ad.
It's a free ad, and you're hitting a demographic you guys could never fucking hit.
Yeah.
Or you don't even know exists.
When Reebok sponsors Kendrick Lamar, which they do, you're making Reebok cool again.
Yeah. I think Reebok is making Kendrick Lamar uncool because who wants Reebok? You know what I'm saying?
Just became my favorite guest.
By the way, that's
Reebok
funny.
is so whack.
I agree. Like he's rocking those classics. His business manager should have been like, I don't know, dog. I know it's money,
His
but
business manager should be like, I'll get you a better sponsor.
100%.
Like if Reebok wants to sponsor you, we could find somebody and get you a better deal.
When I think of Reebok, I think of aerobics.
It's hilarious. That's not good.
No,
if you're a rapper,
good. No. I think of the colors white, pink, and aerobics.
Well, I just think of the Reebok pumps. Like they haven't done shit in forever, but like we were at this award show and Kendrick Lamar was there and he's tiny and he had on some Reeboks and Brian goes, "Who is that?" I went, "That is the best lyrical rapper right now. He's number one. He's so fucking talented.
How uncool am I? I'm like,
so fucking talented. It's insane. It's insane, man. And his manager should be fired.
Should be fired.
I don't give a fuck.
Should get him a better deal.
100%.
Somebody else better.
Bro, remember, speaking of other brands that popped, just because of all the rappers wearing it, remember FUBU?
Yeah.
My fucking dad showed up in a FUBU sweatshirt.
Hilarious.
Just because he saw everyone wearing it. And he was, we were in Venice Beach when I was a kid, and they have all those, and it was a bootleg FUBU shirt.
Hilarious.
And, it got a little chilly out, whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to get a sweatshirt up there." I'm like, cool. Me and my brother playing like paddleball or some shit. And then comes back in a red FUBU sweatshirt. I'm like, "What? Dad, you can't wear that."
That's hilarious.
He's like, "What's wrong? I see everyone else." I'm like, "No, I get that. Everyone else is black wearing it. For us by us."
That's hilarious.
What was
your dad's nationality?
He's white as fuck.
He's white as fuck.
Couldn't get white mustache. Looks like Flanders on steroids.
Hilarious.
Like he's jacked. You know what I'm saying?
But now it seems like with this Justin Timberlake thing, now cultural misappropriation, cultural appropriation. Like,
do you know about the Timberlake stuff?
Yeah, I read a little bit about it.
No, what?
Yeah, explain it.
So, what's the homeboy's name who gave the speech? Jesse Williams at
Okay.
BT gave a
Okay.
speech that will rock your fucking socks, especially if you're African American.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just went up there and dropped some fucking.
I wanna watch
knowledge.
that.
Right. I gotta watch that speech. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard about
it's
it.
amazing.
I've seen parts of it. I gotta watch the whole thing.
Yeah, and he talks about
Bring it up, Evan.
wearing logos and all this other shit. And then everyone was like, everyone, like I'm not.
Meanwhile, they
forcing-
all they got logos on.
Oh,
Who
everyone.
is Jesse? Who is he?
He's an actor on Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, drops some serious fucking knowledge. And then Justin Timberlake tweets, great speech, #inspired. And, and the African American community just was like, huh?
Yeah.
And fucking,
Yeah.
I'm just belittling.
You didn't go through a lot of this. That would be the idea.
They're
right?
like, you're part of the problem, bitch.
Yeah.
You're the one making this dance music for black people.
well, you're taking. Yeah, it's almost like so those things come out of
But
despair
you can still
and
be
things.
inspired.
Yes, you can.
You can.
Yeah.
It
Yes,
doesn't
you can.
matter.
Yes, you
Okay,
can.
I get it. I 100% get the.
I guess he's
racial
thinking. I
differences.
think they were saying you're
don't have
you're
the-
taking part in something
Steal
that
it.
we earned.
That's the thing. Like I think black people feel like shit has been like stolen from them, like their lives since slavery or our lives since slavery. So then anything, and they feel like every black person's heard we invented rock and roll and it was taken from us and jazz. So then there's this fear, or they don't want other shit to be taken, but I just want. I'm not big on cultural. What's it?
appropriation or misappropriation. Yeah.
Right. I'm like,
No.
I want.
America is a melting pot. America is always.
I want everything to
Get
mix.
this out,
And I
B.
just want everything to mix and share. And
We
this stuff.
have to.
That's
and
America.
we have to, just so that we get closer and we're more intertwined and we become more united. So
Like
I don't,
as a unit.
because we become a unit. So that's why I don't bitch about that type of shit. Like to me, bitching about it is just like a distraction. There's shit. There's bigger fish to fry.
Justin Timberlake's not your
Yeah.
problem.
He's not my
He's
issue.
not. He's not where you
No.
want to point your anger at.
Right.
Correct.
But the only issue I have with is like if you're inspired by that speech. For Justin Timberlake, obviously he can't relate being an African American, but he can be inspired in other ways.
Well, you were inspired by it.
Yeah, it was dope. I
Yeah.
was inspired by him having the balls to go up there at the BET Awards and be like, yo, this is all fucking fine and dandy. Everyone's
Right.
getting their awards. We're celebrating this, we're celebrating this. This is the real fucking issue, though, man. I know everyone's having a good time and we're fucking bound down to Prince, and they had all these Prince tributes, and it was brilliant. And, they did great, but he was kind of just got up there and was like, this is the real issue, man.
That's my feeling, is that when you start talking about cultural misappropriation, I'm so against it because the American character, first of all, is basically biracial. The idea, jazz is a classic example. Jazz came from the black spirituals, the blues, and rhythm, African rhythms, drums, percussion, and that was married to what? To the violas, to the string instruments, to the melodic expression, European expression, which was classical music. The marriage of those two is what gave you jazz. And then, of course, from there, things hybridize even further. And the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, they were copying a lot of the great blues, black blues singers from the South.
They admit
Muddy
that, though.
Waters. Yeah.
Yeah, they
but
give-
what a great combination. What a great expression when
I think
everybody's
black people
borrowing
get
from each
upset
other.
when they, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
But black people get upset when they see how much money those guys make and how
Sure.
much little money
100%.
they got out of
Yes.
it. And so going forward to hip hop, like you see Justin Timberlake and then those guys make way more money than black people who do the same thing. So then it feels like
is there an equivalent? Like who would you say is the closest to a black Justin Timberlake? John Legend.
nah.
Anything he touched turns into gold.
Yeah, he does. But I can't think of like a black
You know what I'm
Justin
saying?
Timberlake.
There's really. I mean,
Or you're just thinking in terms of like
I'm saying
who
like on the
touches
same
shit.
level, like multifaceted. Like he can act, dance, sing, write his music.
I don't think
tour.
John Legend ever got as big as Timberlake. I think he's
He's
big
just
for
different, right?
He's just different. He's like
I was trying to think of someone like, you know what I'm saying?
He's more of a guy.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? Not to change subject, but they're saying Steph Curry, right? You know Steph Curry?
Yeah,
Do you follow sports?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So Steph Curry, who's light skinned and he's smaller, like he's not a big dude
as
like Dwight
threatening.
Howard or LeBron James as threatening. They're saying like in white culture and in all cultures, but especially white, the reason why he's so popular is because kids look at him now and go, oh yeah, I can go to them. I'm way more close looking to that guy.
He's more
than fucking LeBron James, who looks like he was
6'9".
artificially created in a lab. Looks like fucking Bane. You know what I'm saying? So
Bane.
You relate
I can relate to Steph Curry, skinny as fuck. He's really not that big. All he does is shoot. I can do that. So they're saying like culturally, like we can't really relate to like the Bo Jacksons and LeBron James. But the reason why Steph Curry's so big and everyone loves him is because kids are like, oh yeah, I can do that. But they're saying a big part of it is because he's light skinned too, which is so fucking interesting to me, man.
There are also 13% of the population, the American population, is black. Only 13%. So, that's not a large percentage. If you look at the marketplace, the massive marketplace is primarily still white, especially the marketplace with buying power that sets trends and moves things in one direction. But black people make it cool, right?
So you're talking in the business world. So what'd you say, 13%?
Yeah, I think it's
Think
about
the influence black people have
That's
on
what I mean.
everything.
Yes.
Even with that 13%.
Yes.
Right.
You want to talk about trends, music,
yes,
fucking style,
sports, everything.
Cars. Like what? Certain cars are cool because these guys drive them.
Yeah, and I think
Language,
the problem I think the problem black people have is like you talk about that influence.
Yeah.
But how much money do we get from that influence?
True.
Somehow some middle men come up, corporate men, and take all the financial benefits or manage to gain most of the financial benefits from that influence. And then black people get cut out.
Like it's not going back to the community.
But here's a bigger question.
Trends,
But here's another question. I wonder if that expression and that influence would come out of a group that had the same economic opportunities and benefits that the white buying structure does have.
Say that again.
In other words, I wonder if the
you're saying you can't sleep in satin sheets and come up with the same ideas?
No, I'm wondering if poverty and feeling disenfranchised and feeling essentially like you are not benefiting from what the white community and white buying power structure has is why a lot of that stuff. Because if you think of rap and a lot of the stuff that comes out of that, there's a lot of emotional frustration.
Yeah, like
there's a lot of
it was in blues.
Yeah,
it was. There's a lot of emotional frustration in blues. There's a lot of emotional frustration in hip hop.
Yeah,
a ton of it. But don't you think?
So you wonder, right?
But there's a lot of groups that are suppressed, right, and don't come up with the same shit, same talents, and have the same influence on the world as African Americans in America, as far as entertainment, culturally, making things cool. For sure, shut off your phone. This is the 200th episode in show business. How many times do we have to do this?
It's my agents. I always have the phone off for my agents.
It's hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you say 13% and think about the fucking impact they have on trends, fashion, TV, sports. Don't even get me started on sports.
Right.
Sports? Mm-hmm. Wait till one black guy goes, oh, this hockey thing's kind of cool. See ya, Canada.
It's hilarious.
Fucking see ya. One black guy goes, oh, that lacrosse ball's kind of cool. Huh? See ya. Right now, white guys have hockey, lacrosse. Until one black guy's like, I'll try it out. See ya.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, but the question really is, part of what makes something cool is that it has edge, and that it comes from something. See, I think people who don't struggle, there's a romantic side to struggle.
Right.
There's something romantic about the fact that I came from nothing and made myself into something. What it really means to people is they go, man, that guy is tough. That guy was able to, against all odds, there's something romantic about the idea that this dude rose from the ashes.
Right.
We always have that. We do.
Like no one's cheering for the Kardashians to come out with something creative.
Right. Or somebody says, my childhood, I just asked my dad's secretary for $400 and I was fine. No, we want to hear stories about, I was working 3 jobs and then I did this. That's the part of the
Because more people can relate to that.
Yeah, and it's also
most of America is middle class, working class.
It's also kind of heroic.
Those opportunities.
Right. It's also kind of heroic. Think about our movies, right? Guy starts with nothing, ends up with everything. You know.
Right.
Even the American dream is that way.
I remember.
I had no money.
How did you grow up in?
We were poor, but I was going to say something about boxing before.
Yeah, let's do it.
So like I just remember like in the 90s or 80s, every time you saw like a boxer, it was the same. And right before the fight, they would do that thing that told you about the boxer's life, so the audience could get like emotionally invested
in it. Yeah.
And it was he just got out of jail.
Yep.
He grew up in the streets. His parents didn't really have parents, and you see him doing the road work and running. And he got out of jail. He learned to fight in jail and went to the gym, and then blah 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 blah. And now he's here at this fight. Yeah. And it's just like every boxer had like the same story.
Everyone has that. Yeah. So many. There were so many.
And I'm sure in MMA,
it's the only story they paint. Really,
it's the only story they paint
because you think of fighting like it's a poor man's sport. Blah blah blah. Hate to tell you, man. A lot of times, fighting does come because you have no other options,
right?
And you have this tenacity. You're trying to fucking get somewhere, and you're going to use your hands to do it, and you have the drive and the passion for it.
Right.
That's where the best fighters in the world come from. Mm-hmm. So I get that part, but at the same time too, like Klitschko's super educated. He has a fucking doctor's degree. What? But in MMA, there's a lot of educated dudes. Well, but that's not a fun story to tell people. Right. Like Kenny Florian, I think he played Division I soccer, and was overseas, has 2 degrees. Like he speaks fluent in 6 other languages. Right. Like there's some really
isn't
smart
that
people.
because
Shane Carwin was an engineer?
Yeah.
They don't want to hear that story.
Right.
Like to me, I remember Shane Carwin was doing an interview and he was fighting Brock Lesnar for the world title, and Dana White called him and asked him to quit his job. He's like, yo, he called me and Shane were in his truck, and it's like maybe 10 or 12 weeks before the fight, they're just getting ready to announce it. He's fighting Brock Lesnar. Doesn't get any fucking big. You know what I'm saying? But all the attention Shane was going to get, and he was already a world champion because he beat Frank Mir, and all the attention he was going to get, how would it make the sport look if Shane's fighting for a world championship? This fool's an engineer on the side.
Right. He's
also an engineer. And Dana's like, I think you need to quit your job. We'll offer you this much money as a severance package to do that. Shane was like, Shane's one of the smartest people you'll ever fucking meet. And Shane's like, there's just no longevity in that. You give me that lump sum of money, that there's no 401k, there's no health benefits. I'm just not going to quit my job. I like doing my job, and I can still fight. I'm also a freak of nature. I touch him, he's going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like hilarious. He wasn't like, most people are like, ooh, hell yeah, I'll take it. Shane's like, nah, man, like I might have head trauma. I need health care. I got a family. I actually like doing my job, and I'll never forget that. But
that's crazy.
The point of the story is they didn't want it to come out and be like, here's Shane Carwin, world-class athlete. He also has a day job.
Because it'll make them look bad as an organization.
Yeah, because think of Peyton Manning.
It's not romantic.
Peyton Manning, Super Bowl MVP. He also works at Radio Shack. You know what I'm saying? It's like it shits on the sport.
Right.
But that's where the sport was at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
As MMA got more and more popular too, real athletes like you guys started coming in too. And so sometimes when you come from other sports like football and stuff, you need a lot of support. Mm-hmm. It's expensive. You need family support. So I think as that sport became more legitimate and real athletes, like guys who are like D1 athletes like you guys. Guys like you are like, I'm a D1 athlete. I'm looking at these guys. I've been playing sports my whole life. I'm going to come in and leapfrog a little bit.
I thought it was crazy because I think most people would have jumped all over that.
Yeah.
Like this will make headlines for sure. Those Cheeto finger riders are going to write all about this. But I'll never forget that. We're in his truck, and to me, all I thought about was fighting. If they were offer that to me, I'm like, fuck yeah, hell yeah.
Hilarious.
See ya, Radio Shack. But
if I was Dana, I would have went the other way. I would have said he's an engineer. And who fights?
I know.
But he loves fighting. You know what I'm saying? I would just went the other way. Because you have enough people with the out the gutter story. It would have been great and refreshing to have like the engineer dude who can handle somebody from the bottom. You know what I mean?
I agree, man. Like he's an educated dude. He went to School of Mines, which is insane. He also taught there. It's fucking nuts.
You know what?
He has an engineer degree, and then at the time he had 2 little babies. You know what I'm saying? He's a wife.
Let's go with the
He's
family.
Working 9 to 5, then driving 2 hours to come train with me, and then training all night, driving back home, has his food in his car,
crazy.
And then waking up next morning doing it all over again.
Damn.
And he's beating everyone in the world.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's a cool story.
That's a cool story.
It is, and you'd have to tell a story because otherwise, the other story that trumps that you end up rooting for is the guy who's like I heard Nate Diaz. He trained because he would get a burrito afterwards. There was a burrito truck, and he would. When you hear that, you go, "Oh man!" You think of a young, skinny kid who's really hungry and he's training so he can eat a burrito, and you go, "Man, I want that guy to win." Yeah.
Well,
it's romantic.
It's the same thing. Like I've done, 2 or 3 Kimbo tributes now, right? Kimbo Slice, who passed away.
Yeah.
And what pissed me off most about all this is they never told his story. Like they told the story of Kimbo being broke and fighting in backyards, and he's this rugged dude, and he'll knock anyone out. He's down to fight anyone. I'm like, whoa. Kimbo was a dude who was a football player, and because of the hurricanes, it destroyed his football career. He was planning to go D1. And then it ruined all the shit. He got hurt. And you're talking about a guy sleeping out of his car and taking showers in the ocean and in random pools, you know what I'm saying, just to make ends meet. Then started backyard fighting to pay the bills for his kids. Not because he's some vicious dude, he's some gnarly-ass fighter. Right. None of that. He was doing it just to pay for his kids, to put food and clothes on their back. And then you're talking about a straight family man who's nice as fuck. Damn. And was literally like the way they portrayed him on the Ultimate Fighter, and same with me, is like he's this cocky, like just scrapper. Nah,
why do they like putting out the same story? Like everything you just mentioned would make me want to see and root for Kimbo Slice even more.
More of a fan.
You know what I mean? But I think they want people to look scary or some shit.
But in which I don't get, and this is why like podcasts, and there's been such huge influencers like Joe Rogan and all these guys that where if you can have a fighter come on, or you have a fighter start his own podcast and they can tell the story. Because I always say, don't let the UFC, don't let the NFL, don't let the NBA tell your story. Why would you let someone else tell your story? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you have someone sit down and be like, well, Ian Edwards did this. What the fuck? No, bitch, this is what's going on.
Right.
So I think with a lot of fighters, it's tough. Their story gets told, but it's not the way they want it to be told.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, I went on that weird tangent.
No.
It makes sense.
Like, why am I watching the same story for every fighter?
It's weird.
Like, they were about to make that, was his name Shane?
Yeah.
Like, give him the same story as, like, somebody who was just, like, born in poverty. Is like why?
Everyone.
Like, what's the purpose of that?
Weird. It's weird, man.
Lack of creativity.
Yeah. You don't have to create. The stories are right there. He had a family. Like, Kimbo Slice had a family, too.
Yeah, it's like a prototype.
It's a prototype.
Yeah, we fall into those issues.
It's the same reason why Steph Curry and who's his homeboy who else can shoot the fucking lights out?
Klay
Thompson. Like, they grew up, especially Steph Curry.
In the
NBA.
Their dads,
So when both their dads playing in the NBA. So they didn't grow up like hustling like LeBron James, single mother, doesn't know his dad, but he's fucking dunking on every white boy in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like that story because he's hustling. He grew up with no dad. But the story of Steph Curry, and the reason why they even say a lot of the NBA doesn't respect him, is because he grew up, at 10, he's shooting fucking 3 points with fucking Bill Lambert and playing grab ass with Magic Johnson, and then he's sleeping in satin seats. You know what I'm saying? But there are sheets. But the thing is what the reason why they should respect him is because he had all this to say,
and he's still
the best shooter of all time. He still works his fucking ass off.
Right.
But people
without
can't
incentive.
People can't relate to that.
You could say the same about
Rose
Kobe,
goes,
right?
huh? Fuck you.
Right.
Didn't Kobe have a similar upbringing? His dad grew up in Italy, speaks fluent Italian. Yeah. I always forget that Kobe Bryant speaks fluent Italian.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
And Spanish.
And Spanish?
Yeah.
Damn.
Spanish ain't
he
bad
grew up
either.
in Italy.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
He's a beast, man.
That's yeah.
But again, it's like it's the way they tell these stories, right? Like it's very interesting. But same with like even is there any comics whose dad was hilarious?
Not that I know of, but I do know a lot of comics come from not a lot of money, or lot of comics come from dysfunction.
And that's the same story.
Yes.
It's the same fucking story.
Comics really do come from a lot of dysfunction and chaos, I think. Like, I don't think I'd be a comic if I didn't have such a chaotic childhood.
Oh, word.
Yeah. I had a great childhood because my parents loved the shit out of me, but it was very chaotic.
Right.
And you sent me that article about how kids who move a lot, how it affects them.
400 more times likely to commit a crime and grow up just being a dumbass.
Like, I moved like 3 major times by the time I was like 17.
Yeah.
Like, the scientists' research would say that's not good.
I moved 8
Damn.
times, but even more than that.
Jesus.
And Ian, you grew
Major
up,
moves.
you were saying kind of poor.
Right. Like, when I was in England, like, I knew I was poor because we was the only kids on the block that didn't have no bikes. And there was just shit I just wouldn't ask my parents for because I was like, I ain't gonna get that shit.
Yeah.
Like shit you see on TV. I was like, all right, I ain't gonna get that G.I. Joe.
You just knew.
That's not happening.
They just chalk it up as a loss.
Yeah.
I'm not even go through the pain.
But also Jamaican lifestyle is like Jamaican parents, like they're like hard working. You know, like I used to have this joke about coming home, like when you're in a Jamaican household, when your parents come home, you gotta act like you've been doing shit all day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So you've been working
like
and sweeping
cleaning,
the floor?
like that's cleaning shit. Hey, surprised to see you. I was just wiping this table.
Oh, you're here?
Yeah,
oh, my bad. I was just getting this grime out of the floor.
Yeah. So you got to do that shit. So I grew up like that, and then I used to have to joke about like one day you can't let your parents come home and catch you sleeping. Like you taking a nap, you wake up. He's like, you know me work 3 hours, me get 3 hours sleep last year. And he said, now you're going to the fridge to get something to eat. You're having bread and butter at the same time. That's 2 meals. Why don't have the bread now and have the butter later? Like that's an example of how I grew up.
The butter later.
You're having snack, crackle, and pop. You're like, I used to just you're having curry and goat. Like that was like one of my typical like growing up in Jamaica jokes.
That's
and I have
hilarious.
cousins that grew up poorer than me.
Yeah.
Like had no shoes.
Fuck.
Like barefoot, like grow up like. I
Would
used
you
to
go
have,
back to Jamaica?
like when I was growing up in Jamaica, like I had 2 pairs of shoes. Like so I had one to one the way to church and school, and one so that I didn't get caught in my church and school shoes and get my ass whipped for having those
you
on.
could like play in them. And
so you could play in them and
want.
shit like that. But that was it, just 2 pairs
You grew
of
up in
shoes.
Kingston? Or?
No, I grew up in like there's 2 places, Spanish Town, and one of them's like Church Pen around Old Harbor. And they're both in St. Catherine.
Do you still go back?
Yeah, I went back last year, but I went back to a resort. It was a family reunion, and everybody was there.
You're like,
it
I'm
was
rich,
just
bitch.
Yeah.
Went back. To
well, not rich, but you know, just
I made it.
I ain't go back to
Butter
I didn't
and
go
bread.
back. Yeah,
for everybody.
like because I never went to a resort when I grew up there. So that was the first time like
Did it
going
feel
back.
weird?
No, it felt like it was time to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like go back and then
You don't see a lot of black people at those resorts.
Yeah.
No, there was a lot of black people there, but it was a lot of people from all over the world there and shit. Yeah.
Did you, when you were young, like, did you get a degree or did you go to school, college? Or
Yeah, I went to New York Institute of Technology. That's another thing. Like when your parents are immigrants, you gotta get a degree. Mm-hmm. You know, you gotta get a degree.
That's why they brought you here.
That's why they brought you here. They
The
didn't
only
like bust
fucking
their
reason.
ass. Yeah, they didn't bust their ass for you to not get a degree.
Be a comic.
You have to be a comic. So I had to get a degree. Even if I wasn't gonna use that shit, you know,
Just so
I had
they
to
don't
get a
whoop your
degree
ass.
just to make them, you know.
You've
feel
always
better.
been good at writing and like being creative?
I think so. I remember this story when I was a little kid in Jamaica. We wrote short stories in school. Teacher read mine. And she said, and everybody was like, after school, said, "You're gonna be a writer." And that was a funny thing. We were like 13 or 14. You have no idea what's going on. And then like later on, just ended up writing on TV shows. And I thought back to that moment, and said, "Oh shit, I did end up being a writer."
That's cool, man. Because
Yeah.
back then, when you're gonna be a writer, like, it sounds boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good at it. What's that mean?
Yeah, I didn't know it would be this type of writer.
Yeah.
And comedy accidentally led me to writing. I didn't know when you did comedy, you could end up getting a writing job. And I was just doing comedy to perform and make some money, perform, and then try to get in front of the camera.
And then now that you're focusing solely on comedy, which I think is smart. Again, the little that I know, but I think it's smart because it's so competitive, right? Like it's so fucking competitive. There's so many good comics. Like a guy like Bill Burr, granted he did that animated series, but that motherfucker's grinding. You look at Joe Rogan. I mean, he does the UFC, but not as much anymore. He does podcasts, grinding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the competition is just rough.
I think you have to do a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Like I went to Naples. I didn't want to, but like I went there because if you don't go and do that 5 hours, 6 hours a week, like you're going to fall behind. Like I have to do a lot of stand up.
When you say you went to Naples in Italy?
No, Naples, Florida.
Naples, Florida?
I'm just
okay.
saying. Like sometimes you do gigs that aren't.
wishes.
You know,
Oh,
sometimes-
those
those gigs that you just like, where the fuck am I?
Not the most desirable.
He was
area.
like
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
fucking Captain D's. There was fucking fish and chips
Like
at
they
the
were eating
back.
fish. It was like
he
a
was
fish
next to the
restaurant.
lobsters.
Oh, shit.
Straight up fish restaurant.
I told his agent, run that shit by me from now. I can't have my man at fucking.
Yeah. He goes, how's Florida? I sent him a video.
And I was like, I just replied back, fuck.
That's exactly what he replied. Fuck. That's exactly what he goes,
and
how's
sent our
Florida,
agent
bro?
an email. Then send our do better. You have to do better.
100%.
This is a good big younger brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt, man. No doubt. He gets mad. But at the same time, man, you get a lot out of doing those 1 hour shows night after night. You come back with something different. And I almost feel like it's the only way.
How many shows are you doing in like a week?
A week.
Are you just grinding right now? Like you're at all the.
I'm doing a lot, but I could still do more. Like I actually got to step up my game and do some more. But what I do is with the shows that I do, like I used to, when I was living in New York, I used to get on a lot, but I didn't always like maximize those sets. But now, like I'm in LA, if I'm gonna not do as much, even though sometimes I do, but there's the weeks when I don't, like I'll right before the set, do the set, go over the set after I did the set to remember the things that I did learn, to remember the mistakes that I did make, and figure out the things that I wouldn't remember if I didn't go over it, and all the tags and stuff. And then so then I get the most out of that set possible. And some people go up a lot, but they're not like maximize. They're going through the motions. They think it's just getting
check it off.
Yeah, just checking off. Like I did 300 something shows last month. Like you didn't get any funnier.
That's his book I'm reading. Like people think that like they might be thinking about it a lot, and they say that's work, or they might go, like you said, doing stand-up, and they're doing the same sets, and they check that off as work. Right. But there's other dudes going up there, and like you're saying, they're maximizing it.
Right, you're maximizing
you might do 10 shows, but Ian did 5, and he fucking killed it, and it's adding to his 1 hour.
Exactly.
So it's like the quality of work, and what you think is work, it's really not work.
Right. Like if you're learning like bad jiu-jitsu moves, like you don't have the fundamentals down, but you go 10 times a week. Yeah. And do 2 a days. Like you're not going to be better than the person who's going like twice a week and like really learning everything.
Working on what he's bad at.
Getting better at his craft.
Isn't that
because they think, because the book I'm reading, because they're thinking of it, they're like, no, that's work. I put so much time in this. Like, well, you've thought about it, right? And you think you're putting in the time, but there's people out there that are actually putting quality time and getting shit done. Yeah. Just because you're stressing out about it, or you think in your off time because you think about it, it counts as work. It doesn't.
It doesn't. And also you have to be working at what you're bad at. Like a lot of people will, like jiu-jitsu or whatever it might be, you stay in your happy place and you continue to do what works and what you're good at. And the people that are really good in anything are always trying to work at the things that they have deficits in. Right. That's not comfortable. It's not easy. No. It's the only way. And you have to do it in real time. Yeah. You have to do it in real time. I don't care, what anybody says. It's got to be uncomfortable, and you've got to be falling and clumsy about it first. Right.
How much longer do we have, Ian? I know you got
I don't know what time it is now.
It's 12:45.
12:45.
Gotta get you going.
We do 5 more minutes, and then.
It's
a good convo.
Some current events,
man.
Some
current events at the end.
Damn right, it's a good conversation.
It's a good convo. I forgot about the time.
Time flies. All right. First current event that we got for today is this is a crazy one. This guy that is blowing up on the internet. He's a 24-year-old powerlifter out of Iran, and they're calling him the Iranian Hulk or the Persian Hulk or something like that. You've got to see pictures of this guy.
Please show these guys. I'm balls deep in this dude. He is.
Take a look at this guy.
You would think it's Photoshop.
Yeah, I believe.
I sent Callan and Brogan a picture this morning. I sent them this text of this giant Iranian monster, and I put, please show respect for this guy who comes over to our country.
I believe he's 400 pounds. Is he not 400 pounds?
Pretty close to it. I think he's like 380.
He looks like when they used to have old school James Bond villains.
Yeah, for real.
He looks like one of those dudes.
He looks like that Top Hat dude, but just giant.
Yeah.
He looks like Top Hat if he had good genetics.
Yeah, Top Hat's son as a villain today, or Top Hat's grandson.
That is so ridiculous to look at how big he is. His name is Sajad
I think
Garibi.
it's Sahad Garibi.
Yeah, he's a superstar. In the weightlifting world, he's really charismatic. Like he's very dramatic
He
about.
wants to get in the WWE.
His Instagram
does?
has a ton of personality on it. And yes, he's angling for a shot at for a WWE tryout.
Smart guy.
That's a smart move.
Smart guy.
Yeah.
He should be on.
He's like tagging Triple H in all his photos.
Hey,
Absolutely.
smart move. It's the only move. when you're
the
400
only
pounds.
move. It's
There's
the
no
only-
other choice.
You are correct.
You
It
can
is-
lift weights or you're blue in the face, but you're gonna be rocking those busted ass boxers and that wife beater.
You wanna make
that
money.
doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah,
my
you
man.
want to make money and you want to be theatrical. He's theatrical too. Before he lifts weights, I've watched him
Hold
lift.
up.
It's
Let's
really
go
awesome.
over his hashtags. Hashtag strongest. Hashtag strong. Hashtag stronger. Hashtag big. Hashtag bear. Hashtag muscles. Hashtag bears.
Hashtag,
Yes.
hashtag English Limited.
Hashtag
strong.
beer daddies. Hashtag beer daddy. Hashtag king big bear. Hashtag big man. Hashtag strong man.
Hashtag I
Hashtag
fuck guys,
I'm
man.
Hulk. Can you? If this dude came in here, he'd fuck everybody.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I can fight, but there ain't shit I can do against his big ass.
If he's out here, they'll make him a villain in a movie easy. He'll get it. He'll get
That's
some.
fucking
yeah.
Bane.
What's the
Yeah.
biggest guy you've ever had? Have you ever wrestled a guy who was the powerlifter that big, like a guy who's a giant?
I mean, Shane was 300 pounds when he first started training.
Yeah,
I
but
guarantee
that
you way
guy's
more explosive
100
than
pounds
that guy.
more than that.
Yeah, but
it's
Shane was
different.
an athlete.
Yeah,
Different.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, and I've had Denver Broncos, like big ass dudes.
Yeah,
you know,
giant
they're
guys.
fucking handful. You ever seen when that monkey fucks the frog's face and he like forces him to?
I haven't, but
You guys never seen that?
Nah. Sure haven't.
You've never seen when the chimp makes the frog
Well,
suck his dick?
Nah.
man.
Oh, he kills the frog.
Oh, no.
Oh,
He
shit.
literally grabs the frog's mouth like, nah, bitch, it's go time. Boom. And then he just starts. If it's at a zoo and the mom's like, oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh,
and the kids
shit.
are all, ah! He kills
I've
the
never
frog.
seen that. That's
Did you ever
hilarious.
see?
Bro, you've never seen everyone.
Nah, man.
Please tell me, people,
Dude.
my generation know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I don't know why I laugh at
This
that stuff.
chimp fucks the frog and then just he like jacks him off on his dick and then like throws him to the side
Oh,
like a piece of
shit.
shit.
I saw
all
an
I'm
orangutan
saying
do that to
is
a
that
chicken.
Iranian could do that to all of us.
I just learned that frogs are socks to,
Yeah.
to chimps.
Well,
For real,
I
though.
watched an orangutan do that to a chicken, and it had it under. Yeah, it was in Indonesia, and we were trying to
Well,
get the
that's even
chicken
weirder.
away, and it was fucking the chicken.
you gotta see this video.
Yeah.
I'm telling the
It's
chimp's
hilarious.
all like, he's like flicking his mouth. He's like, well, for sure, open up. He doesn't. He's like, you know what? We're just gonna force feed you. Gadoosh. And deep throat dead.
God, I don't
Yeah.
know. The last thing I want to do is fuck a frog's mouth, but all right. Oh
If
man,
you're
it
a
feels
chimp-
like insect.
If you're a chimp, though,
I guess.
think about the frog. Fuck the chimp.
Yeah.
The frog got that tongue and those lips.
They don't have lips though. They got basically a beak. I don't know why I laugh. This is why I was laughing. And I'm such a shithead. There's a thing on YouTube, and I kind of stumbled upon it. And they were on a safari, or it wasn't even, it was like one of those great adventure things where all the animals kind of live on a giant reserve. I think I
that'd be a
don't.
safari.
Yeah, but it was like great adventure.
Like
where
one of
they
the
have,
setup ones.
Yeah.
Like here's where the lions are. It's like, well, you guys
but
made
they
that
all
shit.
mix somehow. I don't remember what it was. Anyway,
They all mix.
the kids,
this
kids
the
see
plot
this
of Lion
baby.
King?
This kid see this baby giraffe, and they're like, and they're like, oh, it's so cute, and all that. And all of a sudden, the baby giraffe starts to run, and you just see El Leone just close in and bite them sticks right to the ground.
Oh,
I mean, like
in front
on
of the
still,
kids?
that thing just goes to the ground. And the kids are going, ah! And they were girls. They were like, ah! And you can just hear them crying. And Dad's trying to calm them. So, honey, it's just nature. It's just nature.
Honey-
Drive the car. Don't let them see. Drive the car. They can't get
Yeah,
the car.
it's the circle of life,
It's just,
bitch.
yeah, it's
It's
just
the circle of
nature.
life.
And they were so hysterical.
That's
They
the
were,
best lesson those kids could
yeah,
learn.
they had to watch this. Their
Lucky
baby giraffe
kids.
get
Lucky
fucked
kids.
Lucky kids.
up.
Yeah.
Some say they're
Just-
terrified.
and it's brutal.
That's
These
a
lions
gift.
just like
That line gave them a gift. That's a metaphor for life.
There
bitch.
it is. Life eats life.
Privilege ass
Because
white
it's
kids.
funny. It's like I like looking at women's Instagrams.
Right.
And they're in love with like the most vicious animals. They're like, aw. And it's like applying awe to like a lion or a
100%.
tiger or some type of killer.
Yeah.
But then they'll see a spider and then they'll scream. Like something that can't kill them, but something that can kill them. Aw. And then something that can't kill
A
them.
rat,
they'll-
a rat.
a blood-curdling scream for a rat. And
But it-
jump and run.
Dude, it's the same thing why they dig like the bad boys who they know are they're no fucking good,
yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what they like. Same, all right, bitch. All right, bitch. You're gonna show a picture of a line with a famous quote underneath. You know what the
Well-
fuck that thing will do to
Yeah,
you?
exactly.
There's a sanctuary.
Same
in-
with the dude. That dude's picture you like. You know what the fuck he will do to you?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a sanctuary in
Because they all
in
love that
Thailand.
prison. Sorry, that prisoner dude. all
Yeah.
the chicks was in the. He had a mugshot. Green
Oh,
eyes,
yeah.
light skins.
Dime piece.
Yeah.
Dime piece. He actually just shot his first modeling, like pro model.
Oh,
he
good
got
for
a
him.
contract.
Damn.
Oh, good for him.
Good
Yeah,
for him
right?
is right. Yeah, there's a girl in Thailand. There's a sanctuary in Thailand.
Why I
that
know that, I
monks
don't know.
monks run this sanctuary in Thailand with these giant Thai tigers. Now, tigers are very dangerous. Tigers are, and I'm saying this like nobody knew this. You don't get in the cage with a tiger, but in fact, with tigers, if you raise them, you can be around them, you can feed them and stuff like that, and people do. And I'm watching this thing, and this girl who's from Canada.
Oh, Jesus.
She's this girl, and she came as a tourist and never left, and now she takes care of the tigers. That's great. They have her, and I'm not exaggerating, her and another girl in a large sort of, ring, exercising 4 full-grown tigers. Now, some tigers you can't do that with because they just they're quote-unquote unpredictable. Apparently, these tigers are predictable. Meanwhile, she says, I'm always nervous and I never know, I'm always afraid because if I fall down, you don't want to fall down in front of them because when you fall down in front of them, their instinct can kick in and they kill you. And I'm watching this
That bitch
girl
is under a lot of
going, I'm
pressure.
like, girl, you are
Is there
just...
any other way to make money?
Is there any way? Because I'm
God.
watching the
God.
clock. I'm watching the clock. It's a matter of time.
You know what's the
Stories
fucked up
happen all
thing?
the time.
I would go to
Hilarious.
that hoping she falls. Is that
That's-
fucked up?
It's
I'm trying to get some action.
well, what you're saying is that it's inevitable. It's like if you're around. It's like we were talking about swimming in the
I bet
ocean.
that bitch has Velcro shoes.
Swim in
she
the
doesn't-
ocean.
She doesn't
Right.
use the laces so she
so she
doesn't
can't trip.
Yeah, so it just takes away the
That's
margin of error.
hilarious.
Yeah, man, something. Because you fall in front of them, they will. Sometimes they'll be like,
Oh, you dead.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't stumble. Whoops. Oh, you look
What
lame.
a terrible job. What else you got, Ev?
Well, that was a perfect segue, Brian.
Yeah.
I feel like you can read my mind because
Some bitch got attacked by a tiger?
We're gonna head it directly. I mean, this has been recurring so many times in our shows recently. We might as well have like an animal attacks segment with
Yep.
Fighter and the Kid. So the attacks have gotten so bad recently. Mountain lions and alligators taking fucking 2-year-olds at Disneyland and
Damn.
all that shit. That the New York Times published a whole article, like a big ass article, titled "What to Do When a Wild Animal Attacks," and breaking down by animal the different responses.
This shit is
you
so
should
stupid.
have.
This is good.
It's so fucking stupid.
This is
Gators,
good.
Got it. Bears, got it. Sharks, got it. Mountain lions, got it.
So what do you do with these? I want to know.
It's basically saying like, don't act hostile towards them and run.
Dude,
Hey,
we-
how about
we-
faint?
Dude, we had he's for sure gonna eat your asshole first. But we had a homeboy on, Paul DeGelder, who was attacked by a shark, lost his arm and leg.
Oh, shit.
And I was doing research before he came on the show, and he was on this like ABC Good Morning bullshit, where they have no clue what's going on. And she was like, for all the listeners out there,
Oh, boy.
when they go to the beach this summer, if there's a great white in the water, what's the first thing we should do? And Paul was like, don't go in the fucking water.
Hilarious.
There's nothing you can do. And then he was on the show, and I was like, yo, so when that thing attacked you, did you do what they said? Like punch in the nose, punch in the eye? He goes, oh yeah, I punched hard as fuck in the nose. It did nothing. And I was like, all right, let's go for his eye. The thing was like a cement wall. Like the
Oh,
shark was like,
shit.
oh really? You gonna punch my fucking eye?
Yeah.
You think I give a fuck?
Damn.
And it was like num num, arm, leg gone.
Num num.
Damn.
And I was asking
Num,
on
num.
Discovery Channel,
Num, num,
Shark
num, num,
Week,
num.
talking about
Num, num,
his
num, num.
attack.
Yeah.
Damn.
He tried to reach for the eyes. He couldn't even reach. He's like, what?
Or how about homeboy who's the Cub Scout instructor, and they're in Yellowstone Park, and there's like a cave, and his dumbass, because he has the fucking suit on, he thinks he knows what he's doing. He walks into the bear cave, and the bear's like, huh? Look at this fucking free lunch.
Delivery, Postmates.
Straight up, Postmates, bitch. Oh, it's 24 eats.
Ate him in front of the kids?
Oh, he goes, well, let me go to my Boy Scout training, lay down on the ground, and act dead.
Right.
This bear was like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. I won the fucking lottery. He ate this stupid bitch ass first while the kids watched.
Yeah.
Ass
And they went,
first.
you know what they said? They went, well, it depends on the bear. Like some bears you want to stand up to and run from. Other ones, it depends what mood they're in. You want to act dead.
They should have said that.
Well, how the fuck am I supposed
Yeah.
to know?
Don't go into the
But it
den.
says
How about that?
It says that
Before-
fighting back during a bear attack actually only makes it worse. Those who fought back sustained very severe injuries 80% of the time, and those who remained passive received only minor injuries 75% of the time.
I would
Okay,
imagine.
tell my boy who's fucking leading the Boy Scouts who can't eat Boy Scout girl cookies anymore. He's fucking screwed, man. He's dead.
Did that guy get? So that guy's dead.
Oh, dead. And
Damn.
the entire squad saw it.
Oh,
like,
shit.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And then little Jerry, who thinks he's trained, has to lead the troops back.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
How funny is that?
If I'm Jerry, I'm running. It's called hightailing it the fuck
Oh,
out of
because you
there.
realize the Boy Scouts, I was in Boy Scouts, is all bullshit.
This is what you hear me.
hilarious.
It's all bullshit.
You'd hear me if I'm
That's
Jerry.
hilarious.
Make yourself hard to swallow. Good luck. And I'm
Here's
running.
what you do while he's balls deep eating your fucking instructor. You guys run. It's gonna give you a head start.
Yeah.
That's the best advice I can
Pull
give
your
to you.
pants. Maybe it'll gross him out.
Dude, I was in Boy Scouts. Unless you're fucking Survivor, man, get out of my fucking face. And why do I have this scarf on? Why the fuck do I have this scarf on?
In the woods.
In the woods. I have a red
in the
scarf
woods.
on. Bears love that shit. Why do I have a red scarf
The
on?
scarf with the thing
Yeah,
that goes.
and start giving me gold pins.
Yeah.
The fuck is
That's
this?
hilarious.
And then I gotta sell cookies. What the fuck? Think about how crazy the Boy Scouts
It is crazy.
are.
It has nothing to do with survival. Like,
Nothing.
You're selling cookies. You got a scarf in
I
the
was in
woods.
the
about
fuck,
being a
I
good
was in
citizen.
downtown Denver, learning how to survive in the woods.
Yeah, you got to be a good citizen, I guess.
Even
right?
my dad was like, "We can quit if you want. This is some ridiculous shit." It was weird.
You learn how to
man.
tie knots,
Cool,
build
man.
a fire.
Not really. And then you go on these fucking retreats. They don't know shit.
How about Eagle
Like I said,
Scouts?
unless it's that Beard Grylls, where the fuck his
Yeah.
name is.
What's the purpose of the Boy Scouts? Who do they get money if you go? If you're a kid and you go to the Boy Scouts, so your parents give them money? Like,
Yeah.
What's the?
I think,
that's-
I think it
is
was
a
started
scam?
by a guy who
Yeah.
was like, "We'll build strong character and young Christian boys and all that."
We
stuff.
his
know
name's
where that-
Sandusky.
You know,
Yeah,
we
we
know
know
where
that.
that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name's Sandusky.
How fucked up it is that all of us went, well, you know, you were like, you couldn't
Because
help
when you
it.
think about it, now I
Yeah.
think about it, hey, Dad, don't sign me up for that shit. I had no problem making friends. I played every fucking sport in the world. They're like,
Hilarious.
oh, you need something else on your table? Put this fucking scarf on. Let's show you how to tie knots.
Yeah.
While I fucking rub my fucking dick under these fucking khakis on your back.
Right.
Think about it.
Yeah.
And then I got to hustle cookies.
Well, that's like my camp counselor.
What the fuck?
I had a camp counselor who was always he was the one who would lead the canoe expeditions and the hiking.
Hilarious.
So he'd be in the mountains, just him with a bunch of us boys. And guess what? He molested us, including me.
Oh, you did?
Hey, bro, you got molested by your Boy Scout
I
leader?
sure did. Not
And-
my Boy Scout leader. He was he was an Eagle Scout as well.
Of course, the Eagle Scouts are the
Yes.
most honorable.
He's
Yeah.
The Eagle Scouts are put in the work.
The
And his
Navy
name was-
SEAL, the Navy SEAL of Boy Scout instructors.
His name was
It's the Eagle
Dan,
Scout.
and he was super sweet. I remember we were naked, and he showed my buddy John. He
What?
goes,
Hey, bro.
He was talking about we were
What the
naked.
fuck?
We were
Why were you
skinny
guys
dipping.
naked?
We were skinny dipping. In
Why
the
are you
lake.
doing that?
In the
It was all
lake.
dudes.
Just boys. We're
It was
skinny.
the Eagle Scouts idea.
Yeah, we were all swimming naked. We went for a dip in the lake, and I never forgot it. We're standing there talking to him. He's sitting on a rock, and I swear to God, he goes, "There's a bone." He
How
goes,
long you known him?
like
6 years?
Yeah,
And he never heard the story
Never heard
before?
this shit.
He goes,
This is
"You
crazy.
never heard that I got molested?"
Not like this,
Oh, this is the
man.
greatest. He goes,
Told this story.
yeah, he goes, "There's a bone," and he goes, "There's a bone," and he reaches.
I've
he
never-
goes-
I've never heard
He
this.
hooks his finger. He hooks his finger under my buddy John's cock and balls, and pokes him between his
shit.
balls and his asshole on his taint. He goes, "There's a bone right there." And like that holds it there. He goes, and that bone, he was explaining what that bone does to your body.
Bro.
Meanwhile, I was like, I don't think I have a bone there at all. I think this guy wanted to touch you there. Then me and John had a meeting about it afterwards. We're like, I think he's a molester.
How old are you?
And then I woke up,
How old are you?
I don't know, like 20? No. I was like,
34.
yeah, I was probably
Last week.
11. I was probably 11, 11,
And
12.
how old's the Boy Scout leader grabbing your dick?
Oh, every bit of 40.
Every bit of 40.
Every bit of 40. And he goes,
So many red flags.
I remember I woke up and he was playing with my dong. He was
You woke
playing
up
with
and he
my
was
old
playing
dong.
with your dick?
Sure was.
He was
I woke
jacking you
up.
off?
Yeah, somehow I had to sleep next to him in the tent, and he was going like he was kind of like just feeling my dong, and I had a morning
Massaging it
I had a
down.
morning pee hard on.
Standard.
I had a morning
Standard.
pee. Yeah,
You're a grown
and
man.
I remember going. I never forgot. I remember going. It's strange that he's touching me there. I was like, why would he be touching me there? Because I touched myself there, but why would he be touching me there? And I didn't think of it until I was like, wait a minute, and I didn't like it. I was
Kiss
like,
you on the lips?
nope. But he did suck my friend Donnie's dong.
Oh, shit.
Then
Hold up! Hold the fuck up!
Yep.
What's this guy's name?
I convened a meeting.
I'm about to make fun of the kid
and
Boy
my buddy
Scout
Donnie, who
shirts.
was a super pussy. He was a real kind of real pussy.
Donnie got his dick
He
sucked?
wasn't a pussy. Donnie was a gentle spirit. He was a gentle spirit. And
Donnie was just going with the flow.
Donnie goes,
Woke up, got his dick
He goes,
sucked.
I'll tell
That's how
you
you
guys.
survive in the woods.
Yeah, he goes, I'll tell you guys something. He goes, I'll tell you guys something, but you better not tell anybody. I'm like, I won't. You know me. I can keep a secret. And he's like, well, he went under the covers and he put my dick in his mouth and he was sucking it. And I was like, oh, secret safe with me. I marched right to the head of the camp and I called my mom. Mom was like, in fact, I think my mother was there for a parents' weekend. I was like, guess what? I got my dong fondled and Donnie got his dick sucked. And that guy did it. Boy, that was a...
What happened to that guy?
Back then,
Not much.
you know what they did back then?
Took away one of his stars?
Nope. They
It's
had him,
hilarious.
they had him leave. He disappeared. No criminal charges because they would never bring that to the camp. He got dismissed. And when they told his wife, who was the arts and craft teacher,
the wife.
she apparently, and my mother told me this later, she went, oh, God, is he up to that again?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That sounds like Sandusky's.
I don't know, 11,
There's some
12?
Sandusky
Well,
shit.
there might be a difference because nobody was anally penetrated, and I think I
don't think Donnie told you the full story.
yeah.
I think Donnie and your other boy Billy
hilarious.
had a game.
He was a very passive man. He was not like an aggressive predator. He was more of a I love you.
That's
kind
how
of
they
guy.
get you.
Damn.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
I swear to there's so many fucking red flags there. He's 40
Yeah.
and he's still in the Boy Scouts is a huge
That's
red
right.
flag.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
It
Like,
wasn't
my
Boy
kid,
Scouts, it was a
you
camp.
don't have the
Camp.
option to be
Yeah.
in the fucking Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
We're not doing
This was a
shit.
camp. This is what you would go away to camp. It wasn't even Boy Scouts. It was a camp.
Even more weird.
Yeah.
And you're singing songs and shit around the fire, marshmallows.
Right.
Romantic shit.
Sucking his
That's
dick.
all. That shit I would do with a girl.
For sure.
Let's go to Joshua Tree and sit out in the woods at night over a fire, roast some marshmallows, sing some songs,
And I'll get this dick out.
Yeah.
It's strange. It's very strange.
And this dude said, you know what would be even more of a grand old time if I had 6 little boys around
I
this
had
fucking
my choice
Yeah.
of picking them.
And it was boys.
And he's going to find the one dude who just fucking...
We dated for a while, and I'll tell you, it didn't work out. He was just too old.
When you think about Boy Scouts, that whole fucking thing... God damn it.
How about-
I was in that shit for 2 weeks.
I told you a story about that guy
My
who,
Spidey sense was like, get the fuck out of here.
the guy who pulled his pants down in Wisconsin, and he was way older than me, and he had a really hairy butt. And he goes, "You want to rub on my butt or no?"
What the hell was that? When was that?
I go, "No." I'm okay. That's okay.
Hold up. This is another Boy Scout thing?
No, this is
It's
a guy.
just-
This is a guy who was hanging out with us. He goes, "You want to rub on my butt or no?" And he showed me his butt, and I was like, "No, that's okay." It looked super hairy. And then he jerked off, and he goes, "Hold on for a second, just wait a minute." And I remember it was the first time I saw somebody. I didn't reach
How old were
puberty,
you at this
and he
time?
was like 18 or 19, and he just shot all this stuff, and I went, "God damn!" I remember, talk about being straight.
He was spitting
I was
ropes.
so straight. He was spitting ropes,
Spitting
and
ropes.
I was like, "God damn!" And even then, I was like, "I gotta get the fuck away from those ropes." I was like,
Ropes.
"This whole thing is a bad
Spitting
situation."
ropes, son.
And then I
Spitting
went back.
ropes.
Icing.
Yeah, my dad was reading a book, and I remember thinking, should I tell my dad? And then I remember thinking, my dad.
You're embarrassed to
My
tell your
dad would.
parents.
Well, I also knew my father would probably kill him. Like my father would do something like that guy wouldn't walk away from. I remember that, because my dad was protective over me.
Let me just go back to this real quick, B. Why are
hilarious.
you in a fucking field with a grown man jacking off?
I don't know. I know exactly what it was. He was hanging around.
You had some
He
weird
was like
fucking
18. He was
friends.
hanging around. And
Did you know any of this shit, Ian?
Nah.
Yep,
First
he would
time.
hang around. He was taking we
Serious.
went to look for snakes, and I remember. And
We
he-
went
And
to look for
he's
snakes.
18.
Yes.
And you're like 12.
I'm young. I'm
and this
younger
stupid,
than that,
silly
I think.
bitch is looking for snakes with
Yeah,
12 year olds.
I was younger than 12. I was probably, I was very young. I don't know. Yes.
And no one
you know
thinks
what he
that's
said?
alarming?
No, you know what he said? There were these older, really cute girls, and he said, "We should go spy on those girls."
And by spy, I mean
Yes.
you watch me
And
spit
then,
ropes
yes,
at your face.
Yes, and we should go spy on those girls, and then somehow we end up in the woods.
Hilarious.
And I'm like, "Where are the girls?" And then all of a sudden,
There's no girls,
all
but
of a
check out
sudden,
this hairy ass.
He pulls his pants down, and I know he lies down on the ground. He goes, "Do you want to rub on my butt or no?"
Lies down on the ground.
And I go,
In the leaves.
I was
Dick in the leaves.
I was also so polite as a kid. I go, no, because as a child, you don't want to embarrass, you don't want to be rude.
You don't know
either.
how to handle
It's
it.
awkward.
Yeah.
So I go, no, that's okay. I'm okay.
You do your thing, bro.
Yeah, you do your thing.
Ah, thanks, man. Thanks,
And then
little buddy.
he jerked off and he goes,
Jerking
wait.
off.
He goes,
It's
wait
like-
a minute. He kept saying, wait a minute. And I was like, what the hell? What is that about? This puberty thing is horrifying.
He said, wait a minute.
Yeah, I think I remember
He's
him going,
jerking it for a while, though.
Yeah, he sure was. I don't remember. I didn't have a stopwatch. Probably just going, what in the world is going on here with this giant dude and his dong and all that hair?
and all
That's
that
taking a
hair.
weird turn.
Yeah. All this shit's coming back to me now, by the way. Ian's like,
What else is in there?
I wish
What
Ian-
else
Yeah,
is in
what
there?
else?
What else is in there, Cal?
Then there's this one time I went to SeaWorld. Yeah.
I wish Ian was going, no doubt, no doubt.
No doubt, no doubt.
No.
It's crazy, man.
No
It's
doubt.
bananas. Like, I know you got some crazy stories, so I'm like half shocked and half, this is counting. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not that surprised.
Yeah.
I'm more pissed off your parents let you roam around with these grown ass men and sent you to Boy Scout.
I don't think
camp.
I've ever told my
but I
parents
could
that
actually
story.
see like around that time, like nobody knew that type of shit was happening, and then kids would end up with strange adults in the neighborhood because they were adults.
Yeah.
And nobody had any information on them or said they did anything bad before. So I could see you wandering off with an 18-year-old older kid.
Yes, and also
Yeah.
what's weird about a kid is that if you're my personality, you find yourself kind of it being awkward for them and not wanting to embarrass them.
Right.
You're like that now.
I'm like that now. Well, you know the story. I won't get into details, but I think I've told you the story of having this happen to me as an adult, where I was.
What?
Well, no. You know the story of. Let me try to be very general. Okay, I was talking to a gentleman, and I was like, I think this guy likes me,
Hilarious.
and I bent over to write a check.
And what?
And he came up behind me, put his arms around me, and hugged me, and was kind of like talking while he did that. And I went, oh. I was like
whispering
it was
in your
so, and I was like, this is about 2 years ago.
Write that
And
check.
I was like,
Yeah.
this is very
2 years.
And I
Write
didn't
that
want to
check.
embarrass
Write
him.
that check.
He
Write
was
that
so
check.
overwhelmed with his like for me, or lust for me, or love for me, or
Do
whatever.
I know this guy?
No, and I went, this is very strange, but I know people who know him, and I've never told those people. So I kind of felt like I kind of felt embarrassed for him, because of course I'm not going to reciprocate that shit. And I went, well, I'll see you later, bro. Bye-bye. And I took off. And I remember feeling like if I was a child or a woman in that situation, like women must deal with that shit all the time. And I'm a 40-something-year-old fucking
And
medium
you were
white
still
guy.
like embarrassed.
I
to
was
say
embarrassed, man. I was like, ooh, this is awkward as shit.
Have
'cause
you
this
had
guy,
any gay encounters like that, Ian?
all the time.
Nah.
I think Cal invites
Ian's
this
like,
shit.
No. This one time when I first moved to LA, there's a adult bookstore on Coanga, and then so this is before the internet was
Like
popping.
porno magazines
You
and shit?
found
Yeah, yeah.
yourself, you
Word.
found
So I
yourself
went in
wandering
there.
in.
Yeah, I went in there. I was,
For sure don't call them
I knew the
books.
neighborhood, went in there, and then they had these booths in the back where you could watch like movies, like you put a quarter in.
Yeah.
Know it well. Know
And
it
then
well.
there's one
I've
dude
seen him in movies.
in like leather pants facing me. He's like, you should come watch this one over here. I said, nah, I'm good. And then he turns around and that back of his ass of his pants doesn't even exist. I was like, I'm out.
You gotta get
I'm out. I never went to that adult store.
You should come check this
Yeah.
one out over here.
Hey,
Nah, bitch.
Sir, your assless chaps ruined this experience.
Where's the
for
back
me.
of your pants, man? Where's the back of your pants? Like you have the front of the pants, but where's the back of your pants, dude?
Easy access. That's some dudes.
You should have asked him.
Some dudes
Yo,
need
just fuck up his
Yo,
whole
my man.
vibe. Where the
Yo,
fuck are the
my
back
man,
of your
where the fuck are
pants?
your back of your pants?
That's what I'm doing here, dog. I'm trying to get a dick in this ass. What
I
you
was like,
think?
I was out.
I'm looking for some Jamaican doms.
I
Some
was like,
comic
I'm out of
comedian
here,
Jamaican
dog.
doms.
Look at that jerk
You
chicken.
must have haven't you had gay men like or dudes come hit on you hard and strong?
Not once.
Really?
Not once.
Is that right?
Not one, when I
Oh,
was-
because you just you close the gap for them and you
Yeah,
fall into
right.
their mouths.
I don't give off that vibe. Like
Yeah, you don't.
give off a friendly gay vibe.
Like I wave, like I
You
wave.
give off that friendly like
Like I say, great pants.
you're just friendly to everyone. Like
Yeah.
if I'm a predator, I'm coming after Brian Cal.
That's hilarious.
I guess
You know
because
what
you're
I'm
so
saying?
big, they
like
might
if
be
I'm a
afraid.
predator, I'm singling you out. I'm like, yeah, he'll just take it.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna swallow when we
I,
give.
to-
You
I
know
told
what I'm saying?
I told you my gay friend who had a famous boxer, and I'll tell you his name later, who had a famous boxer come. He was looking at him, and my friend was like, Jesus, that guy's looking at me hard. And he goes up to the bathroom, and the guy's waiting for him outside the bathroom.
boxer is.
And the boxer goes, hey, man, you knew around here? And my buddy goes,
You
huh?
knew around
he
here?
goes,
It's a
he goes,
fucking
he goes, you
party."
from L.A.? And he goes, yeah. He goes, yeah. Do you see this view? This view's crazy.
Oh, shit.
And he goes, and my buddy's like, whoa, he's trying to get me in the room. So he goes, yeah, where? And he goes into the room, and my
Is
buddy,
your boy gay?
yeah, my buddy's gay as shit.
Oh, so he's all about it.
Yeah, my buddy closed the door, and this macho guy goes, he closed the door, and when the guy sees he closed the door, my buddy locks the door, and the guy goes, and pulls his dick out, and then my buddy sucked it. And then after he's done, I don't
have friends that do that.
Hold on, after my buddy sucked
no
his
friends
dick.
that
There's
do
no
that.
friends that do that. That's hilarious.
I don't have a friend that boxes and gets his dick
the
sucked by
greatest.
dudes, and
It's
I
the
don't have a gay friend that closes the door and
hilarious.
sucks dick.
So my friend
hilarious.
sucked it. And then when he got up, I like saying that.
Saying it like
yep,
that.
I won't. He
quit.
sucked his boxer dick.
All right, stop.
His pugilist club, and then
His
after
dick
he's
has
done,
CT?
yep,
Yeah.
after he's done, just taking it in, the boxer grabbed my friend by the throat, threw him against the wall, and said, "You tell anybody about this, and I will fucking kill you." And my buddy goes, "Oh," and my buddy goes, "All right," and he goes, "No, I'm not gonna beat you up. I'll kill you. I know people." And my buddy was like, I go, "What did you do?" And he goes, "It was kind of hot." And I was like, "You're a freak."
That's hilarious.
Do I know this boxer?
I'll tell you who he is. Yeah.
I would know him.
Yes, you would. It's famous. Anyway, it was very interesting.
See, if
I want to
If-
know
if-
this name off the ear.
if someone came to me and was like, "Yo, man, check out that view," I'm like, "What the fuck you talking about?" There's no, you're not molesting me.
Yeah,
Like I was the kid, I would tell everyone where I was going.
It's
I,
pretty
I
wild.
just don't go over to anybody. Like I'm just an apprehensive dude. Period. So even if a girl is like, "Let's go look at this video," what this bitch up to?
Yeah, I agree. She's trying to kill me.
Like,
She's trying to get my
I want to
kidney.
go, but what's going on?
Yeah,
she got some dudes in the room gonna rob me. What's going on?
I agree.
Like
there's-
I'm
I-
apprehensive. I'm
Yeah.
like careful about.
I remember
everything.
when I was a
Yes.
kid in elementary school, there was a white van, of course, a fucking van, and it was
Yeah.
going around and like trying to steal kids and kidnap and molest them.
Damn.
And I remember my dad and my brother talk, but they didn't say anything to me.
Hilarious.
Like we were both sitting down watching TV. My dad was like, "Yo, on the news and blah blah blah, do this and this," and I was like, "Hey man, fucking what about me?" He's like, "I'm not worried about you," because I was loud. I'd fucking
Yeah.
like you're not
Yeah.
molesting me.
Yeah, you're not friendly to strangers either. You're like, huh?
No, I'm the same way. I think someone
You
wants.
don't
Yeah, yeah,
smile
yeah.
when people meet you right away.
It depends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta know the person, warm up to him, and then I was like, all right, yeah.
Because it's
But
always
I'm-
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like, I'm not like, and I'm working. I'm actually working on being more warm when I meet people. But like I got my New York face. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
for real. What's
Yeah.
up?
Well, it's like if I'm out and a fan comes out, I love that. I'm super warm because they obviously appreciate what I do. But if I'm at a party and it's another big dude or something like that, I'm friendly, but I'm not. I mean, you're not gonna. Hey, let's check out that view over there so you can suck my dick. I'm not the guy to do that.
You're not
Like, it's
coming
not gonna
in. You're not
happen.
coming in.
Nah.
Hey, bro.
I'm not gonna.
First of all, if he grabs you by the throat, it'd be kind of weird. You'd be like, really?
Well, if that Iranian Hulk came in, I'm sucking his dick.
Yeah, you gotta suck it.
But I've seen Shawshank Redemption so many times. Anything you put in my mouth, I'm gonna bite off.
God,
you know what I'm
you're
saying?
Hilarious.
That's
What
right.
else you got, Ev? That went down a weird road.
you got?
Apparently,
Real
Went
Cal's
down-
been molested so many times.
A weird but
Just
good
an endless
road.
amount of time.
Endless amount of time.
Incredible amount.
And I still don't go to therapy.
All right,
So
last
there.
current event that we got. This one comes from. So people are starting to go down to Brazil for the Olympics,
Oh,
and they're
yeah.
getting off the planes, and the first thing they're seeing is a giant sign held up that says, "Welcome to hell. Police and firefighters don't get paid here. Whoever comes to Rio de Janeiro will not be safe." The guys holding that sign, all cops and firefighters from Rio.
Damn.
This is the sign they're
Not to
seeing.
mention that was it Zika?
Yeah.
Zika virus.
Zika
yeah.
virus down there. The struggle is real. So
Trying to have a
there's
kid.
the Jamaican sprinter can't go to the Olympics now because of it. You see it?
Who Bolt?
Not Bolt. Bolt. If he got it, we'd all.
Who is
be
that
fucked.
chick? A
I-
chick is
no,
not going?
it's
What,
I
'cause he's
forget
having a
who-
kid or something? Or
No, he got the Zika virus,
Oh,
and
shit.
he can't
for
travel
real?
to Rio now. Yeah, he's out of the Olympics. Welcome to hell. Police and firefighters don't get paid. Whoever comes to Rio de Janeiro will not be safe. I mean, he ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? Like it's tough, man. What's interesting is like you look at the NBA guys doing it. Some turn it down, but a lot of guys are doing it.
Right.
The risk, the struggle is real down there. Does it have to be in Rio? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they're fucked. They don't have the economy to sustain that. It's going to be a financial disaster.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't want it there in the first place, like because they
No
said
one wants it there.
we're poor. You're spending money on all these facilities and to take care of this huge event, and we don't have the money. You just had the World Cup 2 years ago. We didn't want that. Team lost, and there's all this corruption.
Yeah,
and
man.
even like officials and mayors of towns are like we're not safe enough to hold this event.
Yeah, and the favelas, and you see like I was watching a documentary on what like in these certain countries that they go into, like in Brazil, they build all these stadiums, all the state of art shit. Well, then when that leaves, that shit's just there.
Yeah. It's
like they don't do it's just there.
Yeah.
And like the rest of people are like all this fucking money on
Right.
this stadium for the soccer,
And we're starving.
what about this shit? And you knock down all our fucking houses for this. and then they go in and try and clean up the favelas and take the guns away and drugs. You're
Right.
not going to do that. You're just pissing them off.
Yeah.
And then they have this bullshit cement stadium to look at that makes no money and just
Yep.
eats away taxes.
Right.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Doesn't help the economy. Ian Edwards,
What's up, fam?
thank you for coming.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
you
dog,
guys are
you're
hilarious.
the
You're
best,
Good
man.
talk. Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, you're
That's
the
great.
best, brother. I really appreciate it, man.
I appreciate
Yeah.
y'all having me.
One of the great comics.
Where can they find you, man? What do you got coming up?
Usually I'm on Twitter at Ian Edwards Comic. I will be at Just for Last 42 in Toronto coming up. Where will I be? At
Just
the
for Laughs or
Vodafone.
Montreal.
The one in Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
you
might
said-
do Montreal, but,
Okay.
But you're
I
for
got to
sure
make
in
that decision.
Toronto.
But
When
definitely for
is
Toronto.
that?
That is, I can't remember my dates. Go to my website,
Yeah.
IanEdwardsComedian.com, and the dates are on there.
And you're on Instagram too?
Instagram, Ian Edwards Comic.
So everything's Ian Edwards Comic.
Yeah.
Boom. Thanks for
Ian
coming in,
Edwards,
man.
you're the man.
All right,
Thank
man.
you, bro.
Thanks.
Hey guys, for my dropping knowledge, before I go into it, I'm so sorry that I've been to London about 50,000 times, and I've always used pounds, and I know they don't use the euro, and I don't know why I misspoke
You
there.
got some
What I
heat
meant
for
was
that, buddy.
bad
Well,
job
you
by
got
me.
heat for that.
Bad job by me. I meant the pound had fallen against the dollar, not the euro. I don't know why I was. What I
Well,
was
you got to
thinking.
drop of knowledge for us?
Got to drop in knowledge. There's something called Dunbar's principle. I thought it was interesting. And according to these evolutionary anthropologists and this peer-reviewed experiment, there is only a finite number of friends a person can have. Friends not being Facebook friends, friends being people you trust and have obligation to.
Like people in your life?
Like
that
real
you
friends
remember?
that you remember, that you have cognitive memory, that you can have interactions with, that are people
And they
that
put
you,
a
whose
number?
name you'll remember. Yeah, there's a number.
Can I guess?
Yes.
125.
What's your number?
Sorry, I was reading the pen.
There's a limited.
How many friends do you think you can handle, Kay? Like there's a
Oh,
quantitative amount of that your brain can actually handle and remember.
75.
You guys are not bad. It's 150. That seems high to me, though. Doesn't 150 people seem kind of like a lot? But maybe
Seems
not.
like- well, but it depends on the details. Like, what do you mean actual friend? Like,
I guess-
people that you actually know,
that
their
you
history.
have trust, obligation, that you have history. Yes, that you have a
150
real
sounds
relation.
high.
That's too many.
It seems high, right? But think about your wedding. The average wedding is 200 people, like that you know.
Kind of.
Yeah, but a lot of those isn't 200 people, but a lot of those people are your friends and then their partners. So it's really only like 100, right?
God, that's interesting. Well,
Yeah.
I guess 150 is not
The
that
average size
high.
of a village back in the in the 18th century was 150.
They also
I don't even know
died.
150
They also died when
people.
they were 27.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess 150. You know what? Yeah, I know 150 people
Maybe
for sure.
like trusted people you trusted in high school, people you trusted in college. They know stories about you.
Yeah.
Are you close with anyone from high school, Kay?
Yes.
Really?
My three best friends are from high school.
America's from high school?
Yeah. We've been best friends since 8th grade.
But
And
they
I'm
look. They
not
look.
friends with anyone from college.
But they looked at hunter-gatherer societies and they looked at like dense villages, and the number all throughout all cultures, it seemed to keep coming out to 150. This is really weird.
They're saying 150 is the maximum you can handle. Too,
Yeah, I
right?
guess yes. It's called Dunbar's principle, and they have all these justifications, and it's really
It's
really
very
interesting.
strange.
Yeah,
Because the way my brain works, like let's say Brian has a friend and I don't know him at all, or he's not associated with the business, or he's not a comedian, or I don't know. And it's like, hey, this is my friend Ryan. And you ask me a day later about Ryan, my memory just goes, nope.
Yeah.
Nope, all full. Parking lot full, my man.
yeah.
Maybe that's CT or I don't know, but
Well,
my brain goes, nah, not up in here. Delete.
it also
Useless
extrapolates-
information. Delete.
Yeah, you can also extrapolate this though, because just like you can only have a certain number of friends, like that you can keep in your brain. The same goes for constructs and thought processes, and also that's why we stereotype. So stereotyping, well, you shouldn't stereotype. Everybody stereotypes because your brain has to an extent. Now stereotypes have to be managed. But the way we have pattern recognition, the way we avoid danger, the way we form communities actually is, in some ways, through stereotype. It's how your brain chunks a lot of information that comes at you, and there's just it's kind of part of how our brains work. So the more we learn about brain science, when you say you shouldn't stereotype, you shouldn't stereotype,
but it's natural.
It's natural. It's natural, and all of us do it, and it's just the way our brains work. And the same kind of goes with the idea of it's like when you start debating things like terrorism or whatever. We have this really interesting thing that we all do, where and I do it all the time. We have a binary concept of kind of breaking issues down. Good, evil, God, devil, yin and yang, human beings.
Black, white.
Yeah, we do that. It's very, very normal for us to do that. So if there's, or even if I say something like, we want simple answers to complex questions. When you use the word complex, people go, oh, fuck, man. Come on, man.
It's heavy.
It's heavy. And also, you know what the biggest problem is when you start talking intellectually? The biggest problem, like, okay, so there's a problem, gun control or immigration. Man, as soon as you start talking in big ideas or just complex ideas, you get complex about it and you stop breaking it down. It's really hard for us as human beings to, and this happens to me all the time, okay, you're giving me all the answers. And I read the New York Times and I put it down sometimes. I go, I don't have any actionable, you're not giving me anything actionable to solve the problem. What are the actions I have to take to solve this fucking problem?
They don't know.
Right. And I guess there is, but a lot of times it's something that's not as sexy and fancy. It's going to be a long
journey,
process.
but they can't write out. And also, I think by just informing and you being the more people that can educate the masses, that can help step in the right direction.
Also, another way to think about it is this, and I didn't think about this, but I read about this. Thomas Friedman said, instead of creating divisions, we need as people to create webs. It's kind of an interesting way to look at it. You're not going to, if you start creating divisions, which is what we do naturally, because we have this binary concept of solving problems, bad guys, good guys, all that. We better figure out a way, and we are doing that. But our strength is we create good webs where people assimilate and rely on each other. And the more you do that, that's probably the most effective way to deal with things like extremism and stuff like that. Now, at the same time,
you have to have these groups. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
They're not all bad and good, and that's the way people feel loved and appreciated. And that's why you get these extremists, because they're not part of a group. So they're these outliers that finally found something to latch on to. That find a group, and you're really not part of a group.
Yeah, their glue is cutting heads off.
You're still a loser, and for you to, that's the group you finally can relate to and associate with. It's very weird.
Right. But it's also...
like when we were talking with Ian, how it's like, the black comics help each other, blah, blah, blah. Like there's groups, man, and there's almost teams. Like Rogan and I were talking about this the other night. Like the Keto Kid is the fastest shirt sellout we've ever had, 2 times in a row. I didn't think we'd sell many at all. They've sold fast, and me and Rogan were talking about it, and he goes, isn't that great, man? Like, I love how we all help each other. Like, I love how, and I went,
and help other people.
Well, what I told him, I said, well, you know how that got started? And he's like, I went, remember, I was on the ketogenic diet. You and I were doing a podcast, and right when it kicked off, he went, the Keto Kid is here.
Yep.
And I couldn't stop laughing. And then I was like, dude, I got to make that a shirt. That's fucking ridiculous. Yep. And then it happened. And then, so it's like this, again, it's these groups where you help each other out, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but everyone has their groups.
Yeah.
It's not bad. You have to have groups to have purpose.
Yes. And
when you don't have a group, is when you get troubled people.
That's right. Groups are fucking effective at solving problems. And the problem...
Tribes.
Yeah,
As
tribes.
Aubrey Marcus would say, tribes.
Yeah, the old tribes. It's true, man. I had a thought when you said that, when you were talking about...
Well, it's the same thing in because you're going through similar things, and that's how you guys relate. Like, we have this tribe, right, that we're in now, where it's comedy and podcasting and TV and entertainment and trying to strive for something better and bring joy to people's life and merchandise and blah, blah, blah. And then before that, my tribe was training camps and with fighters, and we all related because we're all going through the same emotions and grind that we could all relate to. So we had this tribe of fighting. And before that, I was in the locker room in football. It was the tribe of us going through training camp together and practice and try and get our study done. You know what I'm saying? So it's tribe. I got
schooled a little bit because I had read this article that I thought was really funny called "Never Trust Anybody Who Hasn't Been Punched in the Face." And he was talking about how vigorous civilizations always had rough sports, football, boxing, fisticuffs, and stuff like that. And so men get something out of coming into contact with objective reality. Getting punched in the face, the most extreme example of that, because it's hard not to come into contact with extreme reality. When that happens, it's a reality check. However, okay, that is one aspect, but of course, the way you get really effective at even creating weapons systems or, anything like that, or hunting, is cooperation. Is actually working as a team, working together, not punching each other in the face, but kind of like supporting each other and doing the thing, empathizing, having understanding, having respect, and not sometimes very much the opposite. The way you have a society that works, in fact, is to have an agreement where you don't punch each other in the face when you want to solve problems.
Together as a team, and there's no jealousy, and you don't care who gets credit.
But the biggest issue, like you going back to what you had said also, is that the biggest threat to any society is when you have a lot of young men with nothing to do.
But not belonging to a group.
Yeah.
How about all you guys that don't belong to a group, instead of blowing shit up, how about you form a group? Not called ISIS, but you like form a group and get together and like eat nachos or some shit and watch movies.
Yeah.
And then talk about shitty movies.
I don't do a jogging group because jogging groups are dorks and I might have to.
I'd rather you jog than jog into a bank with a bulletproof vest on and a gun.
This is true.
Once you jog in the woods and have an old man shoot ropes at your face.
Hey, he wasn't old. He was like 18.
That's what you did.
He was 18, man. Don't call him old. All right.
Let's go to fan questions. Fan questions with Special K. Before we get into this, when this drops, it's Special K's B-Day.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Keely, 25. She's 25 and looks every bit of 18. 25, super young to me. You're half my age, honey. You're half my age.
What's the Simpsons song?
Happy
It's
birthday.
Happy Birthday. Oh, you're
Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday.
Happy birthday, Special K.
Happy birthday, Special K. Happy birthday, Special K. Happy birthday, eat lots of cake, Special K. Hey.
Hope your
It's
boyfriend
your
got you a dick in the
birthday.
box.
Huh? Here's a box. Open
You're like, is that a
it.
tater tot? Nah, girl, that's a dick in a box.
Yeah. Is that a diamond watch? Is that earrings? Nope. Open it up. Dick.
Is that a pizza square?
It's my dong in a box. Dong in a box. Put it in a bag, maybe. It's a dong in a bag.
Maybe put it in like one of those like Chinese takeaway things instead of a big box because it's overwhelming. If you're a smaller man, and this isn't for you, I'm not clowning on your boyfriend, but if you're a smaller man, get one of those Chinese takeaway boxes. It's my dick in a Chinese takeaway box.
Or do it
instead of a big old grand box.
Do it.
Because then you're going to open it up, and it's like a bird's eye view looking down at a little speck. Instead, you do it in like, I don't know, like one of those little tiny boxes that Chinese food comes in.
Do what Mickey Rourke did in Diner, where he's watching a movie with his girl, and he bets his buddy. He goes, I bet you she grabs my cock in the next, she reaches for my cock in the next 20 minutes. He's like, you're on. And he's eating popcorn, puts it on his lap, sticks his dong through the popcorn thing.
How you get hard with that butter and salt all over your dick, I have no idea.
When money's on the table, you get yourself
you
diving
figure
hard.
it out.
And she's eating popcorn, reaching, eating. Finally, she reaches and she goes, huh? What the? Huh?
Yeah, bitch. That ain't a
He's
Baby
like-
Ruth.
he's like,
That's my dick covered in butter.
That's right.
That's a butter dick.
It's called a butter dick.
It's called a butter dick.
Called a buttercock.
Oh, you want caramel? Good douche. Caramel popcorn.
Well, and if you come brown, then something's wrong, and you have to go to the doctor immediately because your prostate's probably been pierced and you have some blood.
Caramel popcorn.
Either way,
Oh, you want kettle corn? Good douche.
I'm going to
Kettle corn.
Hey, good
Good douche. All I'm saying
You
is
guys how
if-
you're winding up and you're going, hey,
Good douche. All I'm saying, if your man's smaller, don't do the big box. It doesn't make sense, fellas. What you do is you go to Panda Express, you get yourself just a side of orange chicken. You finish that orange chicken. Then you take your key to your car, go and stick it at the bottom, saw yourself a little hole like a slug. Then you go and put your dick in it.
Make sure it's not spicy though, because if it gets in your urethra.
No, well, that's why I said you get the
Sweet and
orange
sour.
peel chicken. No. Sweet and sour. Sour. It's going to sting your dick. Orange peel, covered in sugar. It's going to feel nice.
I got
It's going to be warm. It's going to be a warm box.
I got you.
You could even get yourself, I don't know, some brown rice in there if you want fried rice.
I'm 49.
Don't get the lo
I'm
mein.
49 and I talk this way. I'm 49 and I have these conversations. I'm outraged.
It is weird. All I'm saying, Kay, is I hope you have a nice birthday.
Thank you.
Have a happy birthday.
Anything you want for your birthday?
No, not really.
Nothing.
You know what I had a girl say to me? We would say, "What are you going to get for your birthday? What are you getting your boyfriend for his birthday?" Because it was his birthday. She goes, "I want to let him go an inch south."
Oh my God.
And we're like, "Hey, man, all right.
Well,
That's a lot of information for us. We don't know you that well."
I went, oh, you meant you ass play for his B-Day? That ain't a bad gift, girl.
Yeah, I know. He's going to go an inch south. That's why I use that expression from that girl.
An inch
A long
south?
time ago. I
You
was
let
like,
him
I'm
go
using
to
that. I never forgot
the
it.
old exit route.
Yep. She was a
You
girl.
let him drive
she
down
was
the
a girl
opposite
who
side of the
lived in-
highway.
Lives in Hoboken, New Jersey. She goes,
Yeah,
I'm letting him go an inch south.
For his
Out
birthday.
the corner of her mouth, she goes, I'm letting him go an inch south. I was like, you're a classy lady.
There's no way she was hot.
She was pretty damn hot.
Really?
Yeah, she was
Well, that
pretty
makes the story
goddamn
awesome.
great tits.
I'm going to let him go south.
Yeah.
Out the corner of mouth?
Yep. And I
I'm
had
going to let him fuck this pooper.
sex with her once.
It's the south?
Yep. And because my buddy.
Hey, man.
No, not south. I didn't go south.
You said
on that.
yep.
No, because my buddy goes.
In
my
order
buddy
you'd
said
be
she
surprised.
wore
Ass mouth badge.
God, I remember this. She had unbelievable breasts, and she wore way too much makeup, and she wore white rain. Is that white musk oil? Which is a
Kay's young as fuck.
It's
We
a
don't know.
white.
If
musk
I don't know,
oil.
she doesn't know.
White musk oil. That was her perfume, and it covered the entire. If you go in the room, you couldn't miss it. And she laid on my rug, and I had sex
Rump
with her.
up.
And my buddy said, dude, I walked in and my buddy Tom was railing her. And I'd never forgotten, I never had heard the expression railing. I go, he goes, yeah, she fucks, bro. She was railing her. That
fucks,
night,
bro.
we're at a bar. I'm like pouring it on. Next thing I know, she's drunk. She didn't say anything. Just go back to my place. She lies down on my rug. And I was like, look at these heads. And anyway.
I'm picturing right now Scarlett Johansson from Don John.
He fucking wishes. That girl's
That's what I'm
gorgeous.
picturing, like a Jersey girl
Nope.
with big tits.
I
She was
would
more of
love
an
that.
Italian. She was more of an Italian kind of hard chick. Talked out the side of her mouth like, "What? Don't be a pussy."
Like a
you
meatball.
Yeah, don't be a pussy.
Come on, don't be a pussy.
Yeah,
Fuck this ass.
She was one of those girls. I'm letting him go in south. I don't give a fuck. That kind of girl.
Yeah.
She would say stuff like, "I don't give a fuck." Like she was rough.
Yikes.
She was rough.
I bet she. Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. I bet she fucking gobbled that dick up like a calzone.
I don't remember her gobbling it up. I just remember her lying down and having sex. I don't remember.
And her being quiet,
Yeah. Yeah.
like a real,
But she
real
was into
classy
it.
lady.
Yeah. She was into it.
Well, no, you said
She got serious with sex. You know, some people talk a lot, then sex comes along and they get
they're dead serious.
They get dead.
I don't like
they
dead
just
serious.
They just get like they lock in on you and that's it.
Like it's their last meal.
Like their last meal.
This dick is your last meal.
And as I was having sex with her, I was going, I'm railing her.
That's what you're thinking.
Because my friend said,
You never
my
heard
buddy,
rail?
Tom railed her. I didn't know who Tom was. I go, I got to rail her. Now I was having
What a
competition.
weird word.
Rail.
I'll never forget when I was in college. My roommates were all black, and my one buddy, Ron Monte, was like the biggest ladies' man of all time, and I lived in the basement. I was like the white guy in the basement. It's weird, super weird, and I was the only one who could hear the doorbell. They were all busy playing video games, some shit, and he'd have girls just come through the house.
He put it down.
Oh my God, handsome looking dude. And he goes, "Hey, Shab," he yells down. He goes, I'll never forget this. He goes, I got this girl, Monica, come over, a real set of cheeks on her. So just let her in, all right? I was all, cheeks? The fuck? Like, I was like, oh, she has like a chubby
she have
face.
blowfish?
And I was like,
Human
what, she have like
blowfish?
a chubby face? He goes, nah, man, set of cheeks on her. You know, like a fat ass.
Cakes.
Cheeks.
Cakes.
And he kept going, cheeks. And I was like, oh, got it. And then fucking she came over and she had an ass from Mars and a tiny waist. And I never forget, she's walking down the stairs. I was like, right up there to the right. Have a good time.
Have a great time.
Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the
my,
ride.
My white ass will be down here making chicken wings because
That's
I made really
exactly
good
what's
chicken
happening.
wings.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what's happening.
Have a
there.
good time. I'll be down if you need anything. Need a Sprite? For reals. Enjoy the ride.
I was with my buddy.
Hope you're hydrated.
My buddy Rico Simone, who's dead now. He died of colon cancer at 40.
Rico
yeah,
Simone.
a great guy. And Rico, when I was with this, we were out, and this Filipino girl, I had no business being like, she was so hot and she was attracting me, but she was an athlete. She was this Filipino girl with an ass and legs that
Thick.
would make Mark
Did you play
Hunt
volleyball?
would intimidate Mark Hunt. May as well have. No, she was a weightlifter, and she was sexy. And my buddy said, he saw her ass, he goes, cakes. She got cakes. And I was like, huh? I never heard that expression in my life. Cakes.
Certain things. Then it comes into your like language, right?
Yes.
Isn't it weird?
Yes.
I say
That's
cheeks
how
all
we
the
do
time.
it. That's how we all
Cheeks
do it.
all the time. I say it's hot cheeks all the time.
We all imitate.
You
We
got
all
a set of
steal.
cheeks on you.
You got a set of cheeks. Well, I like tailpiece.
Tailpiece.
Got
I
a
say
tailpiece
tailpiece
on.
all the time.
Tailpiece is great.
Tailpiece all the time.
All that stuff
Check
is
out
great.
that tailpiece.
My friends taught me T and A. I didn't.
Titty and ass?
Tits and ass.
Yeah.
God damn, Kay. You didn't know that one?
No, I didn't.
What about DSLs? You know what DSLs?
Yeah.
Like, guys would refer to you as DSLs.
Really? I've never been called that.
Behind your back, you have.
Oh.
And you're looking at the two that said it.
Not me. I'm much older. I would
Just
never
kidding.
say to the child.
Okay. Back
Behind your back? Really? Yeah, and I said it. No, I'm just kidding. Man, that was weird. Happy birthday, KK.
Happy
you,
birthday, sweetie.
guys.
We got to buy her a present or something or give her something.
We do. I got something in the works.
Oh, you do? Good, man.
I do.
Let's give her a little bonus. A pony.
Hey, man. I'm
bonus
getting her a
sounds
gift.
really. Bonus sounds
A
like
pony?
sexual
She's not
harassment.
12.
Sounds like sexual
She
harassment.
doesn't want to watch you shoot ropes in the wood. A pony? What the fuck's wrong with you?
Hey, let's go spy on these girls. Whoops,
Hey, let's
take a
get her
detour
some.
in the
Let's get her
woods.
some ice cream or something, huh? Hey, Kay, you'd like a little ice cream? Why don't I give you a ride in my old Tesla? You jump in the back, and we'll get you some ice cream.
Right. And
then-
then,
and then I got-
shoot ropes. Only I'm too old to shoot ropes. That just comes out like bloop bloop.
Comes out like a
Sorry.
fucking.
Hey, what'd you
like,
say?
Like
Hey,
toothpaste.
this is your birthday present.
Why is there a Panda Express to go box? Why is there so many? I couldn't get it right the first couple times.
Oh my God.
Anyways, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, little Kay. Kay's dropping women's gear pretty soon here.
Yeah.
What do we got, Kay? Women's tanks and
A
tees?
tank and a crew neck.
Manufactured by
excited about
Special K. She's been working hard on these things.
Kay's gonna be our fashionista.
All right, Kay, let's get these
Okay.
fan questions. Fan questions with Special K. Special K. I'm not talking about the fucking cereal. I'm talking about Special K. All right, go.
K.
All right, this is for the keto kid.
What's up, girl?
Do you drink coffee on your diet? If so, how do you take it?
God damn it! Of course I do.
He drinks a
I drink a shitload of coffee nonstop. I've had 2 cups here. I had 4 cups this morning. Every morning I wake up. Every morning I wake up and make. I call it the Tenacious Tiger roast, where it's. What, man? The Tenacious Tiger roast. My son's named Tiger. I make it for him so I can handle his little ass. So I brew the coffee strong. I put a shitload of butter in there, some MCT oil from On It, the
You don't use
the
espresso
coconut.
machine I gave you, right?
No, I still do,
Still up there.
but this is it's still up there. Don't worry about it though. So
I gotta get that back.
no, so I put the
$600.
emulsified, right? Emulsified
Yeah.
MCT oil, the coconut one, and then I put stevia. I blend that up with a little cinnamon. I drink 2 cups of that, and I haven't eaten today, and I haven't eaten today, and it's already 2:00, and I feel fucking fine.
That's good.
Yeah, but on ketogenic diet, the term bulletproof, right? Bulletproof coffee is what people know it as. That stuff is a lifesaver. You better be doing that every morning if you're trying to do the ketogenic diet. Rogan does it. I do it. Tebow does it.
Cool.
All right. What is the hardest part of all your lives so far?
Hardest part?
Like the biggest struggle.
Staying original, staying inspired. But I had a great, look, I guess the difficult thing is that learning not to fall into a routine, learning not to get comfortable, learning to keep things fresh, learning to keep your mind out of negative space and thinking forward, not backwards. Those are all things that you have to, for me anyway, manage. Mindsets, mind space. How do I talk to myself?
That's the
What do
toughest
I-
thing
what
in
do
your
I-
life.
Yeah, what do I choose to think about? And I find myself going into negative shit sometimes for no reason.
I never go into negative shit. Sometimes I compare myself to other people, which is a bad thing to do. I think toughest thing for me is just relax. I can't relax. I'm a workaholic, and that road doesn't end well. Like I always want more. I'm not busy enough, I don't think. So speaking of which is next week I'm going on vacation. I didn't want to, but multiple sources told me I need to. So I'm taking my ass to Hawaii. There won't be a Fighting Kid next week, but there will be I will be on Joe Rogan and us doing a breakdown of all the fights, a preview of all the fights. We're going to do that on Tuesday. Then I piece the fuck out on Wednesday. And I'll come back fully recharged. Callan leaves for Italy Friday.
Yeah, France and Italy. Friday. I go to New York for one night, and then I fly to London.
So Fire and the Kid are going on a little hiatus, a little break. So there will be no show next. There will be no show next week, but I'll be doing a show with Joe Rogan breaking down the fights. And I'm trying to think. Other than that, I mean, obviously this one's going to drop, so you guys will be listening to Ian Edwards and this next week as well. And then I did a fun podcast with Drama, Chris from Ridiculousness and from Fantasy Factory. So you guys can listen to that while I'm gone. And I post that on my Instagram, and it's on his as well. So it's a fun one. What else you got, Kay?
Okay. Got my first pair of greats yesterday. I love them. Are you guys working on getting a deal going with them similar to 5'4" or Movement? If not, could you please?
We sure are. It's funny you mentioned that. I just talked to Ryan this morning, who's the owner of Greats, who makes those great shoes. We're doing a collab with them, so there will be a Fire and the Kid sneaker coming out. I shouldn't even say, I wouldn't call it a sneaker. It's more of a lifestyle shoe that's going to come out. We're going to do a collab. It's going to be dope. If you guys haven't seen them, go to Greats. So you guys see the common projects, all this movement with Italian shoes and Italian leather, and the Greats have been doing it forever at a great price. So check them out. But we're also doing a collab deal with them, so it's going to be fun. I can't wait. I think we're the first podcast ever to have their own shoe.
I got a good idea for
Are we the first podcast ever to have our own shoe?
I think so.
Yep. Dude, I got some good ideas.
What else you got? For shoes?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that's what to do with them.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to try saying what.
Well, I tried to add my 2 cents with Ryan, and he were talking about shoes, and I go, and maybe we could have, and Brendan goes, whoa. Excuse me. Let us talk about shoes, man. You stay in your lane.
Yeah. You do the videos.
I was like, oh, geez.
I'll make the shoes
All
that
right,
sell.
I'll do the videos.
Yeah. What else you got?
Okay. This question is for me, I'm assuming, and they're asking what happened to Creepline. It's not coming back anymore, people, because people are making up too many crazy stories that were not real, and that's why I stopped doing it.
Yeah, I think we stopped doing it, because we weren't getting as many stories as we needed to make it a full segment on every show.
And it wasn't real. The stories that they would send are like stupid things that they would make up.
Local legends.
Or I would post a picture on my Instagram, and they would just write creepy shit on my Instagram to try to get on Creepline. It's like, that's not the point.
Yeah.
If you guys have legit ones, you can email the Fire and the Kid. For sure, don't send it to Kay, though. If we got enough legit stories, we'd bring it back, but we weren't getting good enough content, so that's on you guys. That's why it went away. What else you got, Kay?
And I don't want any more dick pics. Thank you.
Those are hilarious.
You get dick pics?
Yes.
Are you serious? Of course, I get dick pics.
I don't.
Of course, Kay. She's an attractive girl. Of course she gets dick pics.
Jesus.
It's weird guys kick off with dick pics.
Any giant dicks?
I don't look that hard.
Oh. No pun intended.
All right, last question. UFC 202 is looking stacked. Being a guy from New Mexico, I'm pumped for Cowboy and Condit. Because they'll get a big payday, being it's McGregor versus Diaz. All that being said, it couldn't be a worse matchup for Carlos and Cowboy versus. Story should be a banger. What are your thoughts, bro?
So Carlos Condit's not retiring. He's fighting Damian Maia at UFC 202. So 202s don't. It's not better than 200. People say that you're crazy. 200 is stacked. But 202 is fucking ridiculous with Connor, Nate. It's stacked. Cowboy versus Story, I like for Cowboy. I think Story's too slow. He's a grinder. Cowboy's so dangerous where he wants to take it. I know people think it's a bad matchup. I think it's easy work for Cowboy. Carlos Damian Maia is a fucking tough fight because Carlos is tough to take down, and he's a nightmare to deal with on the feet. To me, the X factor in that fight is what Carlos Condit are we getting? Because when you're even talking about retirement, Damian Maia is looking for a title shot. He doesn't give a fuck about retirement. He doesn't give a fuck about Reebok. None of that. All he cares about is a title shot. So it's tough, man. But, yeah, I don't think they're bad matchups for either guy.
All right, that's a wrap.
Is that it, KK?
Yep.
Thank you. Evan the Cub is at the doctor's getting some weird rash checked out. What else we got?
We got a week of hiatus from you guys.
We're going to take a little break from you guys. It's not us, it's you.
That's probably not the thing to say to them.
It's not you, it's me.
My apologies to all you English fan.
For
fucking that up.
Oof.
Damn.
That was relentless.
Yeah, I did.
Details on dropping knowledge.
Gotta be detailed. I just misspoke.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah, what can you do? Right now, go ahead and go to tfatk.com. End of July, we are in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. 2 shows, 1 show on Friday, 1 show on Saturday only. Those are almost sold out. And then it's far away, but we're in Oxnard, California in October. That bitch will sell out in weeks. What else I got for you guys? Oh, we officially launched our YouTube channel. I know it's so 2005, but we officially have our YouTube channel. It's on my Instagram. It's on Brian's. It's on TFATK. Go to tfatk.com right now, and you can subscribe. There's a cool banner. It's our actual official YouTube page. All those other ones are fake. All those other ones were people just getting by on our talents and reaping money and benefits. So suck on that. Suck on them balls. This is the Finally Kid. We're out.